One, big up to you guys. We are here for another excruciating, painful fight for the title with these top teams. No one's dropping points, and obviously we've got to come in and do our part. We'll have a look at the team sheet now, but before we do that, how are you, Gary?
Yeah, not too bad, mate. Not too bad. Been a long day at work, but I'm ready for this.
Oh,
I'm,
you're not. So yeah, you're
oh,
looking for a nice, relaxing, cool, calm game.
yeah, something along them lines, mate. Something along them lines. No
Yeah,
shots, no scares. Just a thorough professional performance and a victory at the end.
yeah, I hear you, bro. I hear you. Let me just have a look and see what's going on here, and we can talk about the team sheet. Right, we've got it here. So, team sheet. Where are we? Here we go. Team sheet. We've got Raya in goal, White, Saliba, Gabriel, Zinchenko comes in. So I'm really surprised with that because Tomiyasu has been the guy who he's my number one preference there. Because Rice has picked up his game, for me, I don't think that you replace him with Tomiyasu. I think you put Tomiyasu on the left. But in saying that, Kivior's been fantastic on the left. So I am a little bit surprised that Zinchenko's playing today. In the middle, they're back to the double pivot of Rice and Jorginho. Rice will again be pushing up as an advanced 8 as well. And then we've got Odegaard there to max off the 3 in the midfield. Saka comes in, not really surprising, but you are going to have to get a performance out of Saka because he just has not turned up in the last 2 games. He was awful against Porto. He wasn't good last week. Jesus is the surprise, but not really, considering I've been wanting him to play on the left all season. So he comes in on the left-hand side, which really he should have been playing for ages. And then Havertz up top, which I've got no problems with. Hit that likes button and subscribe to the channel, guys, if you're not subscribed. Gary, what's your thoughts on the team sheet?
I was a bit surprised to see Zinchenko's name on there. I thought Kivior would be back in or Tomiyasu would get the nod. And a little bit surprised to see Jesus starting again on the left. He started the other day on the left, didn't he? And he didn't really bring much to the team. Still starting the overplay and stuff like that against Man City. This was, weren't it? You know. So with Martinelli back, I thought he might have got the start on the left, but we'll see how it goes. I think the rest of the team picks itself.
Yeah, and it's difficult when you consider how much places are up for grabs. I always think about when a team picks itself, and then when you've got a team as good as ours, which are just balling out, absolutely balling out. We're about to start to kick off here. Let me see where we are, guys. Let me get rid of the team sheet.
I just put the players in a huddle.
You can all see our wonderful faces. Shout out to everybody on Twitter. Shout out to everybody on Twitter. Shout out to everyone on Facebook, and big up YouTube massive. Hope you guys are doing well. I'm going for a conservative 2-0 win here. What about you, Gary?
I'm going to go 3-1 Arsenal.
3-1 Arsenal. Okay. We've got Bertram.
Yeah.
Bertram, how are you doing, bro?
I'm doing well. Can you hear me?
Yeah, but you're a bit quiet, just a tad bit quiet.
Let me turn my volume up.
Yeah.
I've never been told I'm quiet before. It's not the norm.
Yeah, it just sounds a little bit quiet. What about you, Gary?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay.
I'm on the way.
You're on the way. Oh, wow. So Bertram's probably started. I think Bertram got the games through Peacock before.
I am 18 seconds in.
Oh, wow. I've not even started yet. Oh, God, you guys are ahead of me. Bertram, going to give the team sheet.
I may have to put my glasses on. It's not good.
Bertram can hear this. Yeah, Bertram, what's your thoughts on the team sheet? What's your thoughts at the moment?
Not surprised actually with any of the selections. Maybe Tommy for Zinchenko I would have expected because Brighton is pretty skillful on the wings and Zinchenko doesn't defend. But I think he wants the attack actually. Oh no! What a sitter he missed. Sorry, gotta score that.
Oh, how have you not scored? How have you
Uh,
not scored?
yeah.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Who's
Anything
that?
on time.
Who's that? Havard?
Oh,
No,
Gabriel,
Gabriel.
too much
Oh,
on it.
Gabriel.
He
He
put too much on
he
it for
probably
a minute.
thought the keeper would hit him though. That's one where you go in with a view you may get hit. So
Right, I'm going to redo my stream, guy, because you guys are hitting me hard right now.
As he's
Let
turned
me just reload that.
it's come off the outside of his head, not the forehead. Oh, Raya. That was a dodgy back pass, man.
yeah, it was a back pass. It wasn't rare. It was a back pass.
Yeah, it bounced up.
Pick it up. Yeah,
Bounced up. Really and truly there. He couldn't really do much with that.
How
Right,
far are you in, Apollo?
I'm a minute. I'm 1 minute.
1 minute 50.
Yeah, I'm 152. So
Right, so I'm going to have to see if I can find something. Right, so it's Premier League, it's Sky Premier League, I believe.
Pressed really well there.
I'm surprised Martinelli didn't start actually.
Yeah, that's what I said, Bertram. I thought, Jesus didn't really bring much to the table against Man City playing on the left.
Yeah, but at least he can pass.
Well, when he...
Well, here's the thing though, what Martinelli does is stretch the defense, right? Martinelli scares defense with his speed. We don't have that anyways.
Right, so I'm 2 minutes now. Where are you guys?
2:28.
5.
Where are you, Bertrand?
240 now.
How am I so far behind?
2 seconds ahead of me.
Yeah, I've just switched. I'm going back to Sky Sports main event.
If you're streaming, then it's going to be slower. But if you're cable, you're okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm watching it on main event, Apollo. Streaming it through main event.
Main event is so I'm going to leave it on Sky Sports Premier League because my main event is nowhere at the moment. Right, okay, let me just leave it at that. Shout out to everybody. 18 says 2-0 away result today, lads. Cam says Zinchenko is going to drop a clanger. I can feel it in my bones. Shout out to Pengi, Mark. Mark's gone 3-1. He says Brighton to Zinchenko era. Yeah. Everybody's piling on Zinchenko. He says changes made at half time. G says Brighton gave up chances and don't have the midfield security of last season. He's won. Arsenal 3 is the same as Mark Ellis there. Emerson is going for 3-1. Everyone's going 3-1. He's saying Jorginho is down as well at the moment.
He in the melee from the corner, the Brighton guy landed on him with the big Hulk Hogan leg drop.
Yeah, I can see it now. Guys, shout out to everybody. There's nearly 50 people watching on YouTube, 300 people watching on Twitter, and another 100 people watching on Facebook. So shout out to all of you guys. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, everybody. For me, it's remarkable how Brighton are able to continue this level of consistency and competitiveness every summer when they sell a boatload of players. Right now, I mean, Caicedo, end of last season, people were talking about him like he was the second coming of Thomas Partey, and he's just been atrocious. Gave another goal away last week for Chelsea. In fact, I think he's had 5 errors leading to goals, which is the most in the Premier League this season. Caicedo just looks like his head's been turned, and he has just been awful.
I don't think it's actually helping him playing in that Chelsea team, to be honest with you.
Possibly, yeah.
There's only one Thomas Partey, guys.
Actually, I was about to say there's only one Caicedo, and that's his sister. She's a quality player. She's I don't want to clown on.
Yeah, she's quality. She's quality.
Oh Lord! Right, here we go. Right, so I'm on 5 minutes at the moment, guys.
30. Saka already looks like he's walking with a bit of a limp.
Yeah, that's not good.
You can see him walking away from the free kick that Havertz just won, and he just looks a little hint of a limp.
So I'm going to need a bit of time so I can focus. I'm with Brighton on the attack at the moment now. Brighton look like they're going 4-3-3. Arsenal's in their base formation at the moment.
I hope we're saving Partey for Bayern next week. I hope that's the plan.
Yeah, because we saw enough of him last week to know that he's ready, man. He's ready just when we need him. Exciting game today, Chelsea versus Man United. United was up.
You mean yesterday?
That was
Yesterday, sorry. United was up. Now because this was Thursday, wasn't it? Actually, United was up and just blew it in the last minute of the game, letting 2 goals in the 90th minute. What a absolute joke!
You see that they give man of the match to that Garnacho, innit? And then he changed it to Cole Palmer at the end.
Yeah, that was a joke. That was an absolute joke. Also, well done to West Ham today beating Wolves. I didn't think they were going to do that. Luton Town with a last-minute win today.
Distribution. Raya just shanked another kick straight to a Brighton player.
You know, it's funny when you mentioned that. Yeah, that's a foul there. When you mentioned that the other day, I did say to you that a lot of Arsenal players against Man City were slipping around, and they said how wet the pitch was, and Pep did that by design. So it wasn't just Raya. I was right with that, Gary. You know, a lot of people were saying Raya was slipping, but it looked like a lot of our players were falling all over the place.
So you reckon the City players wore longer studs? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Possibly, yeah. The thing is, remember if one team's got an advantage over you and you're not expecting something, then
Jesus,
that's an advantage for them.
Man. He's glad. He should have just. But we didn't need to do that term, right?
No, it went into him versus the other way around. Yeah.
So turn the other way. He was running away from the defender.
Oh, this is trouble. Oh, thank you, Brighton. Yeah. I don't trust Zinchenko to play defense anywhere. I view Zinchenko's defense like I view Trent Alexander-Arnold.
But do you know what it is, Bertram? Because he takes up that inverted position, right? He's out of the game, and even there, he doesn't do one thing or another. He allows him to pass the ball around there, and then he's still out of the game.
So here's my issue. My issue is when you play the double pivot, Jorginho tends to control the tempo of the game. So for me, that nullifies the use of Zinchenko coming up into the midfield. I just can't. It's almost like two magnets inverted. It just doesn't work. They're repelling rather than improving the way that we play. So I don't think, and I'm sure Arteta hasn't looked at this because Zinchenko, quite frankly, hasn't played. But looking at this now, it just doesn't look like if you're going to drop Zinchenko.
No, he's playing him wide now. He's playing on the line, which I mean, look at it. He's way up the field now. He's not inverted right here. It's like in the
normal left back spot there.
Well, he's playing like a wing back, not even a left back.
What's he on the other side?
Yeah, we're trying to make. We're not playing smart. We're not playing well.
Which is strange because our best form, guys, has been our away form. Our away form has been electric, as opposed to our home form.
10 minutes, we've been sloppy as hell.
Yeah, we're just throwing the ball over with limited pressure. They're playing football, so that's good. So they'll create space for us, but we're not playing. We haven't started well.
I mean, Welbeck in tons of space in between 4 Arsenal players.
Well, they're finding spaces between the lines, right?
Yeah, and it looks like De Zerbi, actually, he's changed. He's gone for 5 in the middle. So that's gone to try and disrupt what we do in the midfield, and they've won the ball back again. 9 minutes and 45 seconds.
10-15.
That's a shot that goes wide. Remember, teams don't normally get shots. In the last, I think, 5 out of the last 6 games, we've only surrendered 1 shot on target.
So Havertz is the number 9 now?
Yeah, it seems like it. Yeah, I ain't got a problem with that. I haven't got a problem with that, considering how well he's done. 8 goals and 4 assists this season. Dan Sharp says, Zinni definitely makes us worse. What's up, Victor? I hope you're doing well. Shout out to Victor. Represent.
We just turned the ball over with limited pressure. I mean, it's not like
that was poor.
A little bit sloppy. Shout out to you, Vincey. What's going on? How you doing, Vincey?
Yeah, what's going on, family? I'm all good, man. All good. Sorry, mate.
Good.
What's the game be like?
It's a little bit sloppy, if I'm honest. Yeah, it's a little bit sloppy.
I think a little bit is a euphemism for very slow.
I'm trying to understand. Bertram, I'm trying to understand the difference between very and sloppy.
No, one is worse than the other. Saka missed a sitter. I mean, he did all the work himself and he kicked the ball wide. How do you miss that?
How have you missed that?
What's going on, family? How
played out wide. He played through Saka. He's way onside. He's going in. He has options in the middle to Rice. He went inside and then he tried for goal. And I'm not sure what he was seeing.
Doesn't hit the target.
He doesn't hit the target. And target is harder. It was harder to miss the target than to hit the target.
100%. 100%. Has he not scored? Reece Nelson would have scored that, man.
Oh, good save by the keeper. Saka played the ball into the box to Jesus.
That's normally his thing, isn't it?
Yeah, those type of balls, Bertram, is what we were missing against City when we had them. If Jesus had put that ball across, you had Odegaard and Rice to.
No, that was Trossard, wasn't it?
No. That's before in the first half. We had situations where.
Okay.
That's all you need to do is bring that ball in.
It's a brilliant save, man.
Yeah, good save.
Well, with the Saka chance and that save from Jesus, Arsenal warming up now.
Let's not forget, we should have been 1-0 up after a minute anyway from Gabriel.
We've missed 2 chances already. 2 good chances.
Yo, what's going on, Cam? It is Vincey and it is Anthony. My birth name is Anthony, but my heritage is St. Vincent. So my friends call me Vincey. And I go under several aliases because depending on how I feel.
I hear you, man. I hear you. It's a little bit like me. I've been known as 3 names: Apollo, Dean, and Ruel. Ruel is what they called me. The teachers is what the teachers called me.
Ruel. Ruel.
Yeah. It's my second name. It's Apollo Ruel Dean Campbell.
Same.
Victor says, I don't think we will win this match. Maybe a draw. Cam says, just need to play the ball. I think we're discounting the fact that Brighton have pressed really well in this game.
I'm sure Victor's really Ken in disguise.
Somebody else said that.
I went for 2-1 today. I went for 2-1.
Yeah, I've gone 2-0 away. Victor says the team has become nervous again. It says afternoon Vincey as well. That's Emerson. Shout out to Emerson.
Big up yourself, man. Enough love.
I think Emerson was at the under 18s game today. I know we were losing 2-1, but I don't know what the final score was. I haven't checked it out.
That 14-year-old kid scored.
Didn't you guys go? Didn't you 3 guys go last night?
No, wait. I don't think it's last night. I think it's next week. I think it's yeah. We're meeting up on the 12th. I think it's the 12th.
Oh, why are you delaying it?
Our heading needs some
direction. You missed that, man. Jesus, come on.
Emerson's gone 2-2.
Yeah,
I think that's the under 18 score.
So Max Dalman and that 16-year-old QB Martin scored again.
Wow.
I mean, that's a simple header for Jesus. I'm sorry, that's a simple header. You should never be heading that 10, 15 yards wide.
Yeah, you know I'm not heading in that situation. You know that.
We could be 3-0 up already. And so, guys, the fact that we've missed the chances, don't worry about it. 15 minutes has gone. We've seen instances like this where we've been 3-0 up after 15 minutes. What we want to talk about is first 10 minutes we were sloppy. Last 5 minutes we've been dominating and really should have scored a bunch of goals. So, look positively on that in regards to the negative side of it, where the ball's not in the back of the net. If the game rolls on like this, then we should have a comfortable victory. So let's just see what happens.
Oh wow, 3-3 Brentford.
Yeah, it's a crazy game, man.
Oh, Zinchenko gets done by that long crossfield pass all the time, man.
So an optimist can take Apollo's view, see the glass half full, rosy, beautiful. A pessimist could say we get all these chances, we ever scored today. That's just another view.
Zinchenko gets beat by that crossfield pass every single time it's hit.
Gary, you sounding like Cronky, Gary.
What a result for
That's
Luton.
bad. I'm rubbing off with you.
You know what? You can't see it. You can't see it, but Gary's got Kivior's name on the back of that shirt that he's wearing.
I think KVR is good defensively, but athletically he's challenged. And offensively he's challenged. So I can see why he doesn't play certain games.
Is Zinchenko on?
Yeah.
So,
I just want to take Timber at some point because I see him in full training. So one of them is going to be ready.
Emerson says spot on, Gary. Yeah, the thing about Kivior is he's solid at the back. You're playing with 4 centre backs, and he's just absolutely been solid. And he's been a big reason why this team is also number 1 defensively because of how he's defended.
I was just literally took the words right out of my mouth, mate. I was just going to say that.
Yeah.
You're going into really inverted.
You don't always need this inverted nonsense. It doesn't have to be in every single game and every single minute of every game. Sometimes you just need to defend the proper way.
I mean, the whole point of inverted is to overload the midfield, right? But if you've got, as I pointed out before, if you've got Declan Rice and Jorginho doing that, controlling the midfield, then why do you what's the point of being inverted? Things like inverted and single pivot, which we had before, I would like to think Arsenal have evolved beyond that.
Well, you only play your formation based on your opponent and the conditions. You don't just play one way.
I think our formation is based on what Guardiola does. So when he changes, we'll change.
Yeah, I know, but that's the nonsense of the situation because you're not making best use of the situation when you're just playing a formation and you just keep repeating the same nonsense and it's not happening.
Yeah.
I think Jesus, although he's missed a few chances, he has looked better in this game in comparison to the last 2 games. He's got much more involved.
Be a 9. Alvarez is not a 9. I don't care how many goals he scores. He's not a 9. He can't play in tight spaces. He can't get himself out of difficult situations with some drop of the shoulder, some skill, some bamboozle. He doesn't have it. You need that when you're playing defense in tight spaces. You need that.
I think the point you missed, Bertram, is the one I made last week when I said Jesus' skill set with his dribbles is not as a number 9. You want him just outside the box where you can use that to tee up defenders and take them either side and create. As a number 9, he's too limited for me. Jesus is just too limited.
Havertz is just as limited. Havertz is limited.
Yeah, but Havertz doesn't dribble the way Jesus does. And Havertz holds up the ball way better than Jesus does. So that's the benefit of having him in those positions. What is Ben White doing there?
Ben White jumped.
Yeah, he jumped into the player. I thought that was UFC. I thought that was UFC. Guys, I'm 19 minutes now gone into the game. It's still 0-0 Arsenal. But Arsenal have, in the last 10 minutes or so, just taken control of the game.
I'd like to say I'm ahead of you, but I'm not going to tell you what it is because you're going to speed up and try and catch me.
No, I can't speed up. I've tried. This is the quickest I've got. I've only got 3 channels here.
You sure?
Yeah, I've got main event and Sky Premier League. I've switched between them, and this is the quickest I can go.
He's positive now. I'm on.
I think Bertram's the fastest.
20 minutes gone.
Yeah.
Same as Vinci.
Yeah.
Because he's taking 98.
Yeah, this IPT thing is supposed to speed up my things, man. Dan says on the 6, 5, and 4 nils come. Yeah, they all came with Kivior. Good point. This is exactly what I said. Kivior, big reason for us defending and becoming those. It's Odegaard, his shots and it gets blocked. Big reason for us being number 1 defense. You think about even a goal we let in against Liverpool when we drawed them at Anfield. Zinchenko was at fault for that. So you think about what would have happened if Kivior was there. We probably would have won 1-0 at Anfield. When you consider that very few teams win there, and then obviously very few teams win at the Etihad. Consider Arteta is the only manager who's gone,
He's
who's
him over
played
there.
City
when-
and Liverpool twice and gone unbeaten. What other manager's done that?
I'll celebrate that at the end of the season when we've got a trophy.
Yeah, this season is so competitive. I can't even say who's going to win it, even though I predicted Arsenal would last summer. It's that tight that, I mean, the only thing I can say is we seem to be winning our games with a relative ease. Whereas when I tend to watch City and Liverpool, especially Liverpool, they always go down 1-0 and they're having to fight and win the games in the last 5 minutes. And they're just scraping through every week, scraping through.
This is what we were having a conversation the other day on the forum. I was saying exactly the same thing.
But the thing is, Liverpool have goals in them. So, they play an attacking style of football. So they're always in the game. We control the game. And if we don't score, the other team's not scoring.
Yeah, I mean, teams just can't get shots on target against us, Vincey. That's what it comes down to. They just, I mean, it would be nice to score, but they just can't get shots on target. They just can't get them off. And it's that type of relative ease of which Arsenal are winning games because really the defense are just doing their job.
Ball stand, isn't he?
Say again, Gary?
Gabriel's got to learn to play that little ball over the top, man. Every time he does it, man, he just knocks it out of play. Don't know what that's about.
The precision of passing needs work, right? The space is there behind the defense because Zinchenko is not offside. What we're not doing is playing the ball in the right place to allow the forward or the person going advance to get on the ball. Like that ball a while ago was a simple pass. It wasn't a difficult pass.
Yeah.
Bertram, was everything okay your side in New York? I heard you had some earthquakes going on.
Minor tremor. People getting excited about something. I've had real earthquakes. It wasn't that bad.
4.8, wasn't it? I read it.
4.8 in New Jersey.
4.8, yeah.
4 something in New York, but it wasn't that bad.
Mm.
And they were now after just a small aftershock, so it wasn't that bad.
Okay.
Okay, come on, Arsenal defending in numbers.
We're playing around with the ball in the box. We got to do something with that ball a while ago. That was too simple.
Too much, man.
Yeah. Oh, G makes me laugh here. He says, like the Arsenal of December, missing loads of chances. Zinchenko is not serious, man. Why did we bench Kivior again? Did we get bored of not conceding?
Zinchenko, look, crossfield pass. Where's he nowhere to be seen? Next to the geezer.
Did we get bored of not conceding? Yeah, what happens in this instance? Every time Jesus has a game like this where he misses easy ones, he ends up scoring a worldie. It's a bit like Giroud in that way. Misses all the easy ones and scores the hard ones. Brighton starting to play more tighter in the midfield now. Here's Lamptey.
Great ball. Oh, well defended. Well played, Raya. We were opened up like a can of sardines there.
Scored there.
It's always going to be on Zinchenko's side because he doesn't anticipate anything defensively, right? He doesn't. He's just not aware. He lacks awareness. Spatial awareness is not his forte.
How does that guy run inside of him? It should never happen.
Because he's a midfielder. He's not a left back. He's a midfielder.
But I think Raya should have been off a little. If he's going to touch quicker there.
Well, you got to be careful though if you're Ray. You don't want to go too early and then.
Is Raya injured?
I think you went a little bit too late there, though, Bertram. Literally split second.
Yeah.
Because Lamptey gets there first, but he's under pressure from Zinchenko, and he can't keep his feet. If he keeps his feet, that may be one. Pardon?
I thought the player was definitely going to get to that ball.
Yeah, I think Zinchenko maybe just done enough. So when he reached the ball, he was already off of balance. But that's why I think Raya should have come out a little bit sooner. Literally talking like a millisecond. But it all counts. With their first touches are terrible, man. Rice there, Gabriel.
They're pressing us high now, though.
Yeah, I did say to you that they're playing well with the press. They're making it really difficult for us.
Yeah. When someone presses like that, there got to be space behind the first line of their defense or the second line. So you can either go over the top in the first line or go over the top of the second line. If they're going to play that hard field, they're vulnerable behind them. Yeah.
18 says, Havertz has been good so far, Bertram. Cam says, nobody here is going to survive these next 6 weeks. The stress is going to kill the fans.
Well, it depends if we're still in it. If you're not in it, you won't get stressed. If you're in it, you get stressed.
I mean, this is an away game for us, which has always been our strength this season. Liverpool apparently have got 3 out of the next 4 games are away for Liverpool.
We have the hardest schedule by a good distance, I think.
Yeah, I think so. If Man United get a result tomorrow against Liverpool, then it all changes.
And that's why I say go back to that City game and I say I wanted the win.
Yeah, I think I'm one of the few people, and I'm getting grief about this, who didn't appreciate the strategy, to be honest.
And we needed the win.
I think what he's done there, I think he's done the right thing, Arteta, because if you look at Man City since we played them, they've scored 4 goals in both of the last 2 games. So
yeah, but Papalo, that's not a good. Look at
that. Bertram, you're not learning your lesson then. Because
listen, Paulo, listen for a second. They played Crystal Palace today. If Palace had a better team, they scored 4 goals. They got 3 or 4 breaks, 3-on-3, 4-on-3, and they did nothing with it. Bad pass, ball pass too slow, or pass behind the player. They were vulnerable today. They gave a goal in the first 5 minutes of the game. If you have a good team like we do and you can match them, we created nothing in that game. We didn't put them under pressure no time in that game. How can you win just defending?
Because that were the strategy, and plus, I don't think too much. Palace were losing 4-1, and as soon as Ruben Diaz goes off, Palace score again. If Diaz stays on, they don't score again.
Did you watch the whole game?
Yeah, I did. Yeah.
I don't think we did. I think
within a minute, Diaz went off. Palace scored.
Palace had 3 or 4 breakaways where they had 3 or 4 people going forward and they made bad passes. We didn't have one breakaway in the entire 90+ minutes.
For crying out loud.
Why is Jorginho not shot there?
What? This is the thing I'm talking about.
He doesn't shoot much, does he?
Football's simple. It really is. If you get into the attacking area of the pitch, your objective is to have a shot on goal.
Yeah, look how much space he's got.
It's not rocket science. So I don't care what team you're playing. If you do foolishness on the 18-yard box, you're not going to score.
Yeah. Yeah, Jorginho, just someone. Remember, the only time he's ever had a shot like that for us is it hit the post and went in off the back of Emi Martinez. Shooting is just something he doesn't do.
Man. Get the ball in the back of the net.
Yeah.
I think going back to this City thing, did we do the right thing on?
Very good pass, right?
Going back to that, I think we had the best chances in the game.
Yeah,
So if we would have scored like 1-0,
even one,
everyone would have been, what a performance.
Yeah,
but the decisions in those attacking situations, Gary, were so poor.
Yeah, exactly. So in many ways, Gary, the manager got the strategy 100% right.
Yeah, I don't blame the manager. I blame the players in those situations. Stupid passes. And in those situations, you've got to do better, especially away, especially you want to go for the title and beat the champions.
Good pass by Raya out the back there. Yeah, Penalty to Arsenal.
Oh, yeah, penalty to Arsenal. Penalty. That's what Jesus does. That's what Jesus does. Take people on. That's what you do when you play like in the middle of the park and you have people in the box.
Didn't I say that to you, Bertram?
You cannot do that. No,
he's
but we're talking about,
Bertram, he's better getting the ball outside of the box where he can use his ability to run in. That's his skill strength. Him and Nelson and Reece Nelson are the two best dribblers. You can add in, I guess, Smith Rowe. They're the three best dribblers on the team in terms of taking on defenders.
That's a horrible tackle by
terrible tackle by Lamptey.
By Lamptey. Awful tackle.
That was a stone cold penalty.
I mean, you show him down the line and hope for the best. You don't do that.
Don't hold penalty, but he was nowhere near even getting the ball. Always
Yeah,
get there.
Lamptey gets a touch before bringing him down. Look, I just want to say, nice little diagonal pass there from Gabriel to find him. The referee, look, VAR, it ain't even wasting time checking it. And really, Arsenal have taken control of the game in the last 20 minutes.
You know what's interesting? If you look at the two centre halves, Saliba really plays the ball over the top. Gabriel plays the ball over the top quite a bit.
Yeah,
Saliba really does. Is it because we play on the right between Odegaard and Saka and Ben White? So we play more short.
I believe so. It looks like Saka's going to take the penalty.
Yeah, Saka placing the ball.
Let's make sure we're on the line so we can run if he needs to try to get it.
Why do Arsenal fans get scared every time Saka takes a penalty? I don't know, but it doesn't matter. He scored. It's Arsenal 1-0. It's Arsenal 1-0, guys. Let's go. This is what we wanted. And look, it's nothing short of what they deserved.
So you're ahead of us now?
Patience.
You're ahead of us now, Apollo?
That's what I'm saying, Bertram. It's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
Apollo hates being behind everyone, man.
Yeah.
Apollo changed the satellite.
Don't say nothing, you know.
But look, it's gone again. Oh.
Apollo satellite is not.
Yeah, it's IPTV, Bertram. It's IPTV. I've just got it back, and Saka's about to take the penalty again. I'm watching it twice now. It's a good penalty, actually. It's a good penalty.
It's a very good penalty.
Yeah,
it's a very good penalty.
Shout out to Tony Cox. Tony, as soon as you come in, everybody, Arsenal scores. What's going on, Tony? Tony busy tonight. He's out watching the boxing. So shout out to you.
Which fight is on tonight?
Which fights are on tonight, Tony? Where are you? Bertram says.
Isn't that Tyson? Tyson fight?
No. Tyson fight is not. No, it's not Tyson fight.
That was as cool as you can by Saka. Guys, Arsenal go top of the Premier League. Saka needed that. He's been awful the last two games.
I thought he was injured.
Tony says, big up panel. I'm in a bar, so I can't hear you. Okay. All right, okay. Bertram said, which fight are you going to see?
Great ball by Brighton. Beautiful ball.
Right.
It's a brilliant ball. Ball.
Tony, if you can see the screen, Tony, Bertram asks, which fight are you going to see? Tony said he can't hear us.
Yeah, I'm getting into boxing more. Because when I do a channel, I'm going to talk boxing. So I bring Tony on to talk boxing.
Yeah, it's improving, isn't it, the boxing? It's getting a lot better now.
No, it's big in the UK. It's not as big. At one point, it was lame in the US because there were so many injuries. People got turned off by boxing. But the UK liked the gore. And then they went to MMA, which is worse than boxing.
Yeah. And we got to find out how that is with Ngannou. Oh, but everybody was saying MMA, you wait till the boxers see what they're going to do. He comes in, 2 fights. Yeah, I think that's settled.
He made some money. I'm not begrudging him. He made some good money. So
yeah, he did. He
got paid. You can retire now. You got paid.
And you got to think about UFC is it's got that WWE money, man. You got to be doing that for 5-10 years in order for you to be making a decent living out of it, because it don't pay much.
That's true.
Yeah. Them pay-per-view, they rinse them pay-per-views. TV company makes a ton of money doing that, man.
Well, I think the company who owns they bought it from Dana White. I know he's still involved, but they probably take most of the money. They're making good money. They're getting good viewership. They're just taking most of the money. They're not giving the fighters the money.
Emerson says Tony saw 2 good fights last week, especially top of the bill. Victor says, what do you think about the Tyson fight? I think it's dangerous for his age. Well, Tyson's twice his age, right? It's one of those things where I don't know, man. I really don't know.
If Tyson trains like he should, because the good thing about Tyson, he's got a great chin.
Yeah.
You know, when you have a great chin, and you're that big, you can keep in that reach. You can keep losing that reach.
Yeah.
I hope he smacks Jake Paul up, man.
If he fights him, which Tyson? We're talking about Fury, not Mike Tyson.
No, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul.
Oh, Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul. Tyson should beat him, even at 100.
Yeah, I think so. Also, remember Tyson's just under 16 stone. He used to box at 15-10, didn't he, Tyson? I think he reported in at 15-12. So consider that he's near enough his boxing weight when he was in his prime. That's crazy when you consider how old he is now. What is he, 57?
What a ball, Ben White. Excellent.
Well, no, I like the play, actually, when they draw the defense in and he ran behind. I think that was really good setup.
So what have we got here? 37 minutes and 20 seconds I am. Arsenal taking control of the game now. And this is it, guys. When you're a team like Arsenal, and this is a question for all of you guys, when you're a team like Arsenal and you only surrender a single shot on target per game, number 1 defense in the league, 11 clean sheets, 1/3 of your games are clean sheets. It must be very disillusioning from their opponent's perspective. If you're Brighton now, you're thinking we're a goal down. How do we even get a shot on target against this team because they're so good? How must that make you feel, Gary?
Not good.
Less stress.
I think sometimes we can be the masters of our own downfall, though. You know,
not really. In previous seasons we have, but this season we've proven with the consistency that we've shown that we're more experienced. We're above that. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, but then I just saw the Rice get played into a position where we didn't need to be played into. Like we pick up the foul, but if he nicks the ball, we're putting ourselves under pressure.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's just the simple things that you have to do correctly, which allows everything else to fall off the back of.
What about you, Vince? The number 1 defense in the league. The table never lies. This is 31 games now. You've only let in 24 goals. You haven't let a goal in a while, actually. How does that feel if you're the opposition?
To me, I relish that as a challenge. I think it's all about confidence. If you believe in yourself and your ability, and your strikers are confident, and their ratio of goals scored to chances created is good, then if they get a chance, you're confident you're gonna take the chance. So that's the difference. Where Arsenal have shown this year, if you can keep Arsenal at bay, they will give you chances, and if you can capitalize on your chances, you have a good chance of winning the game. If you can stop them from scoring, because we aren't clinical with our chances. If we were clinical with our chances, then it would be very demoralizing playing Arsenal right now because they're clinical and we don't give chances away.
Yeah, and in terms of clinical, obviously before the City game, we had 5, 6, and 5 was the amount of goals that we scored away from home. And obviously it's impossible for teams to do that every game. But the way we play, It's just incredible. Bertrand, what about you? Demoralizing for teams
Take
playing
it
against this defense?
I think what's difficult for teams is when you're a possession team, right? So if you play like how City plays Spurs, or used to play Spurs, by the way, and you're in opposition, you can live with that because you know you don't get a lot of chances. But if I'm dominating the ball, you're not getting chances, it's very demoralizing, actually. It's one thing for you to dominate the ball, but I'm getting fast break, I'm getting counterattacks, I'm getting a chance to score, then I can soak up the pressure because I know I'm getting a chance to score. If that's not occurring, that's where the demoralizing comes in place because I'm not touching the ball, I'm playing hard on defense, and I'm not getting chances either.
And this is the thing. So we look at the stats now. Arsenal, 7 shots, 2 on target. Brighton, 40% of possession for Brighton, no shots on target. Which, again, as I said, is a common theme against teams playing the Gunners.
Gabriel is hurt.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
You know things are bad when Gary's son chimes in with one of his updates. Again, in this situation, you wouldn't mind seeing Kivior come on and just resting Gabriel, would you?
No, I like Sikirio exactly where he is and Gabriel on the field.
And the thing for me is, I made a comment about Odegaard, why he was the only person not rested the other night. I would like to see him take an early bath today. Emerson says Gabriel down, impact injury to his ankle, but should be okay. Yeah, I think Gary Odegaard coming off at 60 minutes for you.
Maybe 70. If the game's won, 3 up, whatever the case may be, get him off as soon as possible. Another one that you can't keep playing 95 plus minutes every single week, every single game.
Yeah.
It's an area that Arteta's got to get right because obviously with the big games coming up, you've got to make this team as fresh as possible.
Yeah, and Bertram, the thing is, you've got, if you're Arsenal, you've got Tomiyasu, Kivior, Partey, Smith Rowe, Vieira, Trossard, Martinelli, and Nketiah. You've got all them guys on the bench. I mean, I've not seen our bench like that in years.
To say from Raya, what's the difference between that and Porto? And let me tell you, foot movement. The foot movement was bang on there. Against Porto, there was no foot movement.
I think the difference is that Raya has now gotten very comfortable. He's secured his number 1 spot. He's playing with more confidence.
Bertrand, that was all that foot movement. You see his feet go 1-2, the push off, and he
No. The difference with Porto is the ball for Porto was kicked much harder, far distance out, but giving more velocity, more venom.
Come off it. It didn't matter. There was no foot movement.
Okay. Paulo, let's look at both of those because on YouTube, Gary, can you say I'm off? And the kick from Porto was with venom.
Don't be.
This shot was he chipped it. It wasn't with venom. So much harder shot. He had time to position himself and set his feet, Gary. Against Porto, he was scrambling.
Exactly the same amount of time against Porto.
No, I don't think so. I
hope so.
I don't agree with either of you. I thought that Porto shot was hit with pace. I think this shot was nowhere near hit as hard as the one.
That's what I just said, Apollo. What do you mean you agree with any of them?
No, sorry. Bertram, sorry, I didn't hear you for a bit because I had muted for a while.
No, I said it was hit with venom against Porto. It was hit hard.
Yeah, I agree.
But was much more trying to chip it over him. It's a difference.
Gary's got this thing where he thinks that should have been saved, but I don't think there's a goalie that would have saved that.
I'm not the only one.
Yeah, I don't think there's a goalkeeper that would have saved that. That was,
you know what, Gary?
World class.
Gary, because he's not a tall goalkeeper sometimes, like the ball he just saved a while ago, maybe Ramsdale would have catch the ball with his height, right? He has to jump for it. Versus that tall, you don't have to jump. So it looks like it'd be an easier save.
Yeah, these midget goalkeepers, man.
Yeah, that does Gary's head in. Emerson said, good save by Raya. G says, wonderful save by Raya. That had Porto
Come
vibes.
on, Jesus. Go in, Jesus.
Emerson, 7 minutes Jesus? Added on. 7 minutes? Yeah, I thought that looked like Gabby's Achilles heel there, but he's
somebody's
fine to go
ruffling
on.
some chips. It's loud as heck. Is it you, Vincy?
Yeah, that's normally Tony. Tony's normally the one with the potato chips. Hold on, guys. I'll be back in a second.
Body feeling weak, Bertram. Feeling weak, man.
The keeper trying to buy a little free kick there.
You gonna watch the draft, Bertram? NFL?
Yeah, just the first couple of rounds, not the whole thing.
Oh. I only watched the first round. That's it.
Why would you- Come on, man. You've been so-
Come on, put the ball over the top. Put the ball in the box. Put the ball in the box. We're trying to walk the ball in. We may just do so. Wow.
Gary, why do you need a touch in that situation? Why didn't you just swing with your left foot?
I don't know. Just I watch it sometimes. I'm a bit bewildered at why we do what we do. You know, I think Havertz should have scored there when he gets in there. He's got to get. I mean,
Nah, he couldn't do anything. He couldn't do anything with that.
he flicked it, but he hit the underside of his studs.
I know, but he's stretching.
What? How big that packet of crisps, Vincy? What's going on? What, there all the little bits left in the bottom? Hold on, let's a closer inspection. Okay. You get a plate.
Back in the day, Chris used to be at the top. You open it, and you just now you got to go all the way down to the bottom just to get them. Get them out. Like 6 or 7.
Stop it, Saliba. Stop. Outrageous. Outright. Oh my God. If we score from this, I swear to God, this would be the best goal I've ever seen.
Gary, what's going on?
So Saliba does the defending. He does an outrageous step over, and Arsenal are down the other end. Oh! From one end of the pitch to the other, and Havertz's cross is cut out. But outrageous defending from Saliba. Oh, it's no free kick. Play on.
There's some people he does like big, but I don't forget.
Offside.
It wasn't a step over. Gary chopped him in the box
look,
as if he wasn't
playing
there.
the ball out of the back there. I think this is what Gary was talking about.
Yeah, I was talking about step over or the chop, whichever one it was. Stan, whichever one it was, Bertram. It was just outrageous.
Oh, you
Team
know
is
what?
only 1-0, and you're defending like that. Come on, man.
You know that was
So
all
a while ago,
Saliba.
Rice should have run harder, and the Rice should have gone to. Don't should have gone to Rice, not gone to the right. Should have gone to the left.
That was all
He could have been
Saliba.
almost in and
Bertram, your friend Havertz, Kai Havertz, 3 chances created in this game, which leads the match.
yeah.
And can I just add also a fantastic piece of defending when we gave the ball away on the right? He was the first one to sprint full length back on the pitch to get back and defend.
Yeah, Havertz is that guy. 18 says, really happy with the score. Arteta's been incredibly effective as man management lately. First half of the season, it wasn't like this. Gary says, not Gary. Emerson says, Gary, who was the last academy player to play for Brighton? And then Cam says Arteta, the Premier League's youngest manager, and someone who gets so much stick from his own fans for learning on the job. Not necessarily, Cam. I
Well,
don't
get
agree with that to an extent.
for God's sake, man.
Yeah, I leave that.
He's a Premier League manager. Everybody gets stick.
Yeah, they do. That's
Guardiola gets
100%.
stick. He wins a ton. Why are we trying to walk the ball in the goal?
Why did it take that so long for that ball to be?
It's becoming ridiculous, man. This is, when we was blowing these teams away 5-6-0, we just kept it so simple, right? There was none of this, and that's why it was so effective. And it's like all of a sudden we've got too cocksure of ourselves, and we've gone back to playing like this. I don't like it. There's no need for it.
Maybe that might be a little bit of an overreaction, but I do agree to a point. I do agree to a point.
No, I think you get the game won, and when you're 4-5-0 up, then all this nonsense can resume.
But I have to say, you can't be excellent every time, guys. I mean, what are we doing here? You can't score 5 goals every game. I mean, we were doing that.
I have to disagree with Apollo.
You can't do that every game.
Apollo, I hate to tell you this, but you have to be excellent till the end of the season. You have no choice.
Oh yeah, I agree with that. But I'm talking about the scoreline. I'm talking about looking for 5 every game. It's just not going to happen, guys. That's not.
We want 3, Apollo. We don't want 5. We want 3. We're okay with 3.
Yeah.
And want them in the first half. We don't want to wait till the second half. We want to relax and drink. I don't drink soda. Drink some water.
Yeah, you know when that was happening, and we were watching them games, Bertrand, we couldn't believe what was going on. And it, Gary, we didn't know what to do with ourselves after half an hour because it's just
empty
like
ground on the quick.
I said to Vincey, I sent Vincey a text one day saying, I'm supposed to have stress levels watching Arsenal, and it's just not happening. I don't know what to do with myself. Half time, guys.
Yeah, well, it's good that, back in the Wenger days, we would be concerned about counterattacks because we were so vulnerable. Now we are pressing up and we still don't give up that much counterattack goal. So it's a good story. It's a good story defensively.
So where are we, guys? So it's half time. It's Arsenal 1-0. Pretty much run-of-the-mill stuff. De Zerbi just, I don't know how he's going to deal with this because no other manager has been able to counterattack this Arsenal team. And if you're going to be coming out and committing more men to score goals, that's only going to work against you on the other side. He doesn't have a strong squad. Arsenal in the second half are going to be looking to bring on some quality players. So it's been a really good contest so far. As I said, some people might disrespect or not really look at Brighton in any regard, but they are a quality team. I think their midfield's done really well in pressing. But Arsenal, after 10 minutes where they started the game quite shaky, just took control over the game. Jesus, for me, kind of justified his start. The 2 or 3 chances he had in the right position, but didn't finish the chance off. And then he won the penalty, which Saka tucked away. So for me, I think Jesus has had a good game. Gary, what's your thoughts on the first half so far?
Yeah, I think Brighton have caused us a little bit more trouble than most teams have done so far this year. We was a bit sloppy in the first 10 minutes, giving the ball away needlessly. Fantastic save from Raya. So it hasn't been comfortable, shall we say. But then again, Gabriel heads wide when he should really score. Jesus heads wide when he should really score. The keeper pulls off another fantastic save from Jesus. So we could literally be looking at a 5-1 scoreline. So you can't really complain. But I just think, forget all this nonsense trying to walk this ball into the net. Let's get some shots going. Saka should have buried the one that when he cut inside. He should have hit the target from there. So we could have been out of sight already. But when you're not, I just think that you need to get that part sorted first before you try all this, keep walking the ball into the net business. That's where I stand.
What's your thoughts, Bertram, on the first half?
I think he was pretty comfortable, actually, apart from the very good save made by Raya. I think Gary's analysis has been spot on, actually, which is, I'm not sure we're trying to walk the ball into the goal. We're not creating more space between ourselves, because the reason why you're playing so close, you're trying to play 1-2-1-2 in a very tight spot. If you create more space, the defense has to open up because they have to mark you closer, or zone you closer, then you have more chance to be able to get your shots off. So we just need to space out better in the second half and play similarly, actually. I don't think we have to do material changes to how we're playing, but I do think the spacing needs to be better, and we got to put away our chances. As Gary alluded to, Gabriel had a sitter in the first minute of the game, basically. Saka's was probably just as easy. Jesus' header. So you've had very good chances. The only name I haven't called so far is Havertz, and he's my center forward. I just my center forward get chances. So hopefully the second half he'll be put in a situation where he gets opportunities to score. But I think it's been a little bit too comfortable. A number of what happens in these games is that the opposition nick one and then you're scrambling, right? You want to put the game out of reach, so you're not scrambling late in the game. Trying to secure.
100%.
Excellent. Before I go to Vincey, G says, we've been quality. Arteta won't be happy. We haven't got a second. Would have loved some Martinelli on that counter. He's talking about the one that just before the half. This game should be done and buried twice over. Cam says, bloody hell, Raya is actually capable of making a save that isn't from a penalty. Cam also says, the only way these chumps score is from a worldie. Need that second goal and then relax. I think this is a game for Partey more so than Jorginho could do with his ability to turn and dribble out of their press, which is exactly what I said in the first half. Shout out to Dan. Dan said, what's going on, guys? I think we've been massively overplaying in this half. That's pretty much the consensus among all of us here. We need to shoot 1 or 2 passes sooner. And then he says, really dislike the way Jesus gave up tracking back at the end of the half. Martinelli would never. Ooh. Vincey, thoughts on the first half?
Yeah, I mean, it's been comfortable in attack, really, but sloppy in again with some of the football that we played in the 18-yard box and in and around it. I think for the middle, we are vulnerable with that direct pass, and it's been shown and split our midfield on several occasions. Ray has been there to save a great shot, and Gabriel and both Saliba have been comfortable in the defence. Brighton's a decent team. If we allow them opportunities, they'll get back into this game, and this is where we've got to stop wasting these attacking opportunities that we have and be a little bit more clinical at the business end of the season. Arteta will be happy that we 1-0 up, but on the balance of play, we should really have scored more goals. And that's really what ultimately he wants, to make it easier for him to make the substitutions he wants to give players minutes as the second half unfolds. So I'm hoping that we can be a bit more clinical. That's all I want us to do all season, be a bit more clinical with our chances, because that's really what separates you between other teams that can't actually get to beat you because they know that you're clinical. And City has been clinical last season. That's why they were able to chase us down and put that pressure on us. We need to be clinical because we're chasing Liverpool.
Right. So let's go back and see what you guys. Sorry, Gary, go on.
That's a great. Just saying the Raya save again. That's a brilliant save because that's going into the top corner. That is
great save.
Emerson says Gini will be given the first 10-15 minutes, then Kivior will come on for the Brighton attack side, and then we'll need to score to make it comfortable. Facebook user, I'll have to go to Facebook to see who this is. It's David Thomas. David Thomas says, good to see you, brother Vincey.
Pick up yourself, David. Enough love, man. Enough love for always.
Cam says, Cam's talking to Danny. He says, some great attacks, but our players too hesitant to pull the trigger. It feels like vintage Wenger trying to walk the ball into the net. Very frustrating game. Should be over by now. Danny says, let's hope Big Gabby hasn't picked up an injury also. Looked like an ankle ligament twist. 18 says, Apollo, you're not streaming on Footy page. No, they only allow me to, for the amount of money I pay for this streaming, they only allowed me to stream to free services. So what I was doing before was YouTube, 101 Facebook, and Footy Facebook. And so the Twitter page was kind of moving out, and we're getting more people watching on Twitter than anywhere else. I mean, right now we've got 1,500 people watching this live on Twitter. It doesn't kind of benefit the channel, but I do it anyway because of the exposure of 101. So unfortunately, one of them had to go. We couldn't forfeit the 101 Facebook page because that's our main page. So and then obviously we can't forfeit YouTube. So the only one that had to suffer was the Footy Banter page on Facebook. So sorry. I know there's a lot of people on that page that was also from supporting other teams because that was a Premier League forum. But yeah, have to keep it Arsenal. Sorry about that, mate. David is saying, not watching the game, but how amazing it is to hear us talking like this is away to Brighton, different team this year. And I'm glad you said that, David, because I made the point to Bertram and Gary when they were getting frustrated with us not finishing our chances. And I'm saying, look, going away to Brighton is not easy. Both of the other teams of our rivals, they struggled here. Apart from the first 10 minutes, I mean, really, and I said this the other night against Luton, we're in second gear. This isn't even vintage Arsenal. This isn't Arteta ball. It's almost like when you think of how many games we have to play in such short space of time, we're conserving energy to some extent. So I think that that's actually a good sign when you're able to churn it down a little bit and still perform, because that's what Man City does. If any of you guys watch Manchester City play, they don't go out and bomb teams away. In the first hour of the game, they're very patient, very slow in their build-up. They let the game come to them. And then in the last half an hour, they seem to fire up, especially with the depth of squad that they have. And then the quality then starts to show in the end. Arsenal have been doing that for quite a bit. And so I don't too mind that. I always say, we're not going to blow teams out 5-0 every time. And sometimes we have to let the game come to us, which means we've got to show patience in our game. That's one of the big differences with Arteta this season. Team is more patient in the build-up, more patient in your game plan. Man management is improved in the second half of the season. So that's really on the manager's side. Gary, you want to chime in there?
Yeah, I think what you're saying there, I think it's two completely different things, Apollo, because no one's saying that we're going to go out there and blow team off the park like in the first half. But the difference comes where if you're not actually shooting at goal and you're trying to walk the ball into the net where there's an option for a shot, but you try to walk the ball into the net and the ball gets cleared, that to me is not good for football sense. If you have an opportunity to shoot, like we saw Jorginho, we saw there was a couple of others like Declan Rice. There was a couple of others when they're just trying to these little 1-2s and walk the ball in. If you're not trying to shoot, you ain't trying to score. Get the game won, get 2-3-0 as quick as possible. No one's saying it's got to be 10 minutes, 7 minutes, 15 minutes. But in 45 minutes, how many shots have we actually had on target today? Jesus with one, Saka with the penalty. 2 shots, to my knowledge. Vincey, can you count any more?
What are you talking about? How many shots we've had on target?
Yeah, how many shots have we had on target in that half?
Two. And 9 shots, 2 on target.
2, but I think the chances that we've had...
You should be having more than 2, right?
Yeah, it's a lot more that should have produced.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, it was. We had 9 shots. There's only 2 on target. So we had a lot of shots. 9 shots is quite a lot.
That's not even talking about the ones that have not even come to shots because they've cleared it when we're trying to play these little 1-2s. So if there's 10 times we're trying to play little 1-2s and walk the ball into the net, that could have been another 10 shots, which could have resulted in at least another 2 goals.
Yeah.
That's how I look at it.
Dan says, I think a lot of Gooners are just waiting for the heartbreak we've become accustomed to. Oh my God, I'm so glad you said that. Before this weekend, before today's game, I was actually slightly concerned because Brighton is no easy place to go to and play, man. They're a good team. That's all there is to really say about it. But our quality away from home has been better than at the Emirates. That's how good we are. Our away form is just incredible. And so, as I said to Gary, we are a more experienced team this year. And those slip-ups that we've been seeing are few and far between at the moment now. But it's in the back of our minds, Danny. You've mentioned it because it's there. It's probably inside of all of us that we have this sort of mindset that something's going to go wrong. And look, let's be fair. We've won 9 out of 10 games and drawn the other against Man City. In order to win the league, we've seen City and Liverpool go on 15, 16, 17 games winning streak. That's incredible. That's like how we started the beginning of last season when we had 17 games, 15 wins, 1 draw, 1 loss. To go that amount of times, just constantly winning over and over again, that is how far we've come, guys. We are in the mix, considering how well we've played, and we're still up and against it against the top 2 rivals. That's the level of excellence. I think some Villa and Spurs fans sometimes don't realize how tough this league is. Like, you cannot make one mistake. You can't. The slightest bit of slip up and you're out of the title race. It's fine lines. So I'm really glad you brought that point up, Dan, because it just goes to show how well we are playing this season. G says, excellent game from Havertz. Did they really can't handle him, David? He's talking to David there. Cam says, we've been well on top for the first 30 minutes. Absolutely should be 4-0 up ahead. A bit like a home tie. We need to stick it to them in the second half. We can create chances against them at will. Yeah, and that shows with the 9 shots, right? This is David. David says, completely agree. I think it's the same patience should be afforded to returning players. Ease people back rather than throwing them in. Our bench looks frightening, 100%. Vincey, that's your guy, David?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, that's your guy, David. Yeah, 100%.
People
man.
back rather than throw them in. Yeah, the bench looks frightening. I think the team makes the substitutions more of a problem when they don't take the chances. You know, you want to give players minutes, but we're not managing the game by making it safe for him to really make some of those changes that he really needs to make. And that's onus on those strikers to attacking players to make better use of those situations. Because this game should be pretty much done and dusted with the amount of chances that we should have created.
Yep. Emerson says second half is underway, no changes. Yeah, they've walked onto the pitch for me. Cam says Vincey, he's talking to Vincey, says Brighton looked to me like they were tiring. Think we'll grab another 2 goals in the second half.
Yeah, I mean, I felt that they were labouring, but our sloppy play at times, they were still able to cut us open. So, you just don't want them to have hold in the second half where it becomes tense.
Brian almost got Jesus gives the ball away in halfway inside the Arsenal half, and the guy just drives on and he takes the deflection off of Saliba's foot, and lucky enough, straight at David Raya.
And that's what I'm saying, Gary. Straight through the middle.
Yeah.
Oh, so let me just check to see if that was considered a shot on target, because that would be 2 shots on targets, which we haven't.
Target now.
No, it's still 1. It's still showing 1 shot on target for me. So it's probably because it's a deflection.
I would call it a pass on target. I'm not sure what
it didn't count as a shot on target.
But
that's incredible.
It went to the keeper, so it may have.
Was that an official pass on target, Bertram?
The first one.
It's my terminology when a shot's really not a shot.
That's incredible, guys. 8 out of our last 10 games, we've surrendered just 1 shot on target.
But it was with the sloppy pass.
So it's unbelievable. That's unbelievable. I really hope Liverpool slip up tomorrow. Like, how long can they keep this going, man?
Until their luck runs out, mate. Because they're not winning. They're winning games scraping past team.
It's just I don't fear Man City. I'm not worried about them, but Liverpool, man. Liverpool's running looks so easy.
You completely missed that.
Apollo, really, Apollo? I cannot believe this disrespecting Man City like that.
Yeah, the Liverpool's
They
running looks so
destroyed
easy.
Villa, and they basically did the same
It's a
thing.
VAR check. People, I think so. The VAR check for handball against Lamptey, but the game continues.
Madness. I think you know what it is, Bertram. When I talked about, it's not just the fact that Arsenal have scored the most goals and they've got the best defense in the league. We're playing the better football, Bertram. In terms of like the style of football, we're playing the better football than any of our rivals.
Another one, man. Another header. Wide.
Gary's dying here. They're killing Gary right now.
It's a more difficult.
He has to hit the target on that. He has to hit the target. He's trying to be too cute.
The target from there again. Sorry,
He's trying
man.
to be cute to put inside the post, but he has to hit the target.
And you know what? He's got to head it back to where it's come from.
Yeah. Well, that is difficult. He's going over a person. He's going over another player, but he has to hit the target.
David says, more great news. Havertz is a don. Hey, listen, I remember when Havertz first came here, and for the first 3 months, he was just a defensive monster. And everyone was piling in on him. Where's the goals? Where's the goals? Where's the goals?
Oh, man.
And then after Christmas, the goals started coming in. And
Havertz just muffed that one, Apollo.
Yeah, he digs out another dangerous cross, though. Havertz, that's
we're well ahead of you, man. He was almost clean through, but he muffed it.
Yeah, that's in terms of Havertz has put 3 or 4 good crosses in, which really he should have a couple of assists.
Under 11's playing tomorrow.
Church game.
Look, there's Havertz again in that wide position.
He muffed it. This is the muff.
Yeah, the defender gets in the way and stops that cross from coming in. Touches in the box. Arsenal, the most touches in an away game this season. Arsenal have the highest, 3 of the highest touches in the opponent's box in the whole entire season. That's incredible.
Got away with one there.
Incredible. I don't know sports stats. Gary, what happened?
The ball was played through easy for Zinchenko to deal with. Easy. He doesn't deal with it. And the Brighton attacker gets there and it comes off Zinchenko and Brighton have a corner. Absolutely needless.
Wow, Zinchenko.
He just doesn't focus, Apollo. Because that was a ball for him to cut out. It wasn't hard. It wasn't hit with pace.
Yeah. You know what, Gary? I wouldn't have started him. I wouldn't have started him.
And it's a goal kick.
Good squad player, but I think the team sheet, and I said this to Bertram a couple of weeks ago, I think the team has passed him by. I think the level of the team has just gone past Zinchenko, maybe past Jesus. Maybe. Is Jesus a first 11 pick?
Saliba, is it? No, Ben White down.
I can't believe you're saying that, but Apollo. You're a huge fan of Zinchenko and Jesus.
Yeah, I think some people would still regard Jesus.
Come on, Ben White. It ain't that bad. He did push him in his face. They're trying to draw attention to it, but it didn't hit that hard, Ben. Come on.
I think some people would still regard Jesus as the number 9 and the first 11.
It's embarrassing.
But
he's looking to get him sent off, actually. It wasn't hit him hard. Pushed him. He probably went up to his face, but it didn't hit him that hard.
Went down holding his throat. Embarrassing, man.
You thought that M&A fighter hit him.
And it was all right that put the shoulder in first, as he ran past.
I know, right? He bounced him as if...
Radiation, they're going to fling yourself to the floor.
How was that, Gabriel? What were you guys doing?
What are you doing, Gabriel?
That's what I mean.
This
See
is
what
foolishness.
We are causing ourselves trouble here. And we're only 1-0 up.
We need some experienced heads to calm this down.
Come on,
Where's
second,
Jorginho?
Give it to him now. Good ball.
Jorginho's been missing.
I'm Jesus. Do your magic now.
Send him.
It wasn't a bad idea, actually.
What's it, Jansman, isn't it?
Gabriel, man.
What's
Yeah. See, you know, this is the only thing that concerned me last week when we played Man City. I said to you, like, Man City don't make mistakes. They are that well fine-tuned that they just don't make mistakes in their game. We're not at that level yet. We're nearly there. But we're not at that level yet. Good hold up there. Good ball by Declan Rice.
The game needs some look-away passes. We need Partey in the game. Jorginho is a good game manager, but he's not a difference maker.
Yeah.
The thing is that Brighton have got quite a high line, so we just don't really play that ball over the top enough.
Yeah, as Bertram said, that's Partey, man.
It's on quite a bit.
That's Partey. Partey does the killer crossover. He breaks those ankles, man.
What are we doing? We run the ideas and we get to the box. We run the ideas. The spacing is poor. The spacing is poor.
Right shot from Odegaard. First time I've ever seen him use his right foot.
Well, you know why? Because most time when he uses it, it doesn't go anywhere.
Keeper tipped it over the box. And the keeper almost punched it into the net, you know.
Emerson says, good save by Odegaard.
From Odegaard, I think he meant. Odegaard shoots right footed. The keeper almost punches it into the net, but he manages to clear the bar.
Look at Havertz again with the pace and control.
I thought Havertz had slowed that down, Apollo. I thought he could have.
Havertz is gliding into the box and just distributing this ball left, right, and centre. Really good play from your centre forward there.
Must score. Oh, come on. Why you can't pass the ball back? You're never going to score there.
Yeah, Verbruggen nearly made a meal of that, man.
Tee him up, man. Come on.
Well, it's not Gabriel's best game. Zinchenko's just making me nervous. Yeah.
Oh, man, he almost got caught again. No, Jesus. Control the ball, Jesus. Doing a step over in the middle of the pitch.
Yeah. G says, Bumchenko at it again. Get him off already.
My word. You got one man dribbling through the midfield like that. One man. Come on, man. Fix up.
Ben White got done like a kipper, first of all, there. It's not even a foul. Where did foul come from it?
You better be careful here. You better be careful that this team doesn't get you on a counter.
I need for Zinchenko to realize the man outside of him because I know he doesn't recognize anything.
The referee says that's a free kick. If Zinchenko is stressing everybody out now, he says Emerson says Ginny needs to come off as he's getting beaten all the time.
Oh, Saka got Saka gets back and wins, puts it out for a corner. But that was a clever free kick by Brighton there. There's more argy-bargy in the middle.
So, guys, who comes in at left back now then? Is it Tomiyasu or Kivior?
Tommy.
Yeah, I think I'd have to agree with you. Bertram, who plays left? Who comes on left back now?
It would have to be Tommy. Yeah.
I think Vinci, you make two changes here: Partey for Jorginho and Zinchenko for Tomiyasu. Agreed?
Play three at the back, man.
Huh?
Just play three at the back and just take the game. I don't understand what's this left. What is this left back? What are you fearing right now with Brighton playing the left back?
Lamptey.
That's what you're fearing.
No, we're fearing Zinchenko making a mistake. It's not even Lamptey. Just him making.
But that's the point I'm saying. If you take off Zinchenko, yeah, and you have Partey and Tomiyasu in midfield, why are you still fearing Lamptey if you're controlling that midfield and nullifying?
No, Vinny, I don't fear Lamptey. I fear Zinchenko. I don't fear Lamptey. I fear Zinchenko. He's going to create something that's not there. He does that.
You're not wrong, man. You're not wrong, man.
Zinchenko's wearing blue.
Rice and Dunk going at it, hammer and tongue. Lucky that's not a penalty, you know.
Yeah, we got to be careful here, guys. Fine lines, man.
We
Fine
need to
lines.
get this second goal. That's what we need. And Jesus, he went to block the ball, but his arms were up in the air. If that hits his arm on the way after the shot, that's a penalty, you know.
18 says Zinchenko showing how good Tomiyasu is, and Emerson saying Tomiyasu as well. Little bit of spell of pressure from Brighton here, guys. You can see the replay. Declan Rice tugging on some shirts.
Yeah, him and Lewis Dunk going at it.
Yeah, Ben White getting the clearance there. This is the number one defense in the league, guys. This is the number one defense.
Yeah, being tested today.
Yeah.
But Brighton do this anyway, so it's not, you know, Brighton do this.
Yeah, and the thing is, you know, they normally have players like Matoma. Matoma's injured at the moment. They're a good team. They're a good team. I wouldn't put it past anybody who says that they don't think this Brighton team is quality.
No, they are a good team.
They've suffered some mad injuries this season.
And we give the ball away again. Zinchenko again, I believe.
Oh my God, it's too much now.
It's offside.
Well, after today, guys, it's just 7 games to go in the Premier League. Just 7 games after today.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Come on, Arsenal. So Raya plays it out to Jorginho. He's in the whole world of trouble, and all he can do is prod it out for a throw. And Brighton come again. Game management in this so far has not been great.
Well, it's 58 minutes. It's too early, really, to change things. But I would definitely make those 2 subs. I'd probably do it in the 60th minute, maybe another minute or 2.
Tell you, Apollo, that if you're being heavily pressed, send it long. Send it long. Mix it up the way that you're playing.
Wow, Jorginho just. What was he thinking of? That the thing is, that's your Jorginho's your commander. He's your experienced veteran who's supposed to manage the game, and then when he's doing something like that, sorry, man, just bring on Party.
It was stupid. But as I'm saying, you send it long, mix it up a bit.
Yeah, bring on Party. Party very rarely gives the ball away like that. That's better. That's well played. Who was that? That was actually Jorginho that won that ball back.
Oh, Zinchenko actually won a tackle. And so tried a little fleet-footedness and lost it again, but won it back. What's that? Oh, listen to this stat, Apollo.
Yo.
My son is telling me that Zinchenko is the 3rd highest tackler in the Arsenal squad this season.
This season?
Apparently so.
3rd in tackles? I didn't think so.
Declan Rice, Saka, then Zinchenko.
Yeah.
Havertz,
just need Havertz is my man, right? Havertz is my man right now, man. Havertz is having a good game. Won't you say so?
Oh, brilliant!
Oh,
Saka is good.
Finally,
Brilliant.
Finally.
They're kind of walking in the goal.
And that's all Odegaard.
Bertrand, I just said to you, wasn't Havertz
all
playing
Odegaard
well?
to me. That great pass.
No, Havertz has been playing well. Yeah,
Cut
he's been
them
playing
through.
well.
Right, so Apollo. So Declan Rice leads with 60 tackles, Saka with 54, and then Zinchenko with 48.
Is that
Was he
because
tackling
they keep
himself?
going to him though?
Who's he tackling, Gary? Because I don't see those tackles.
Listen, I'm with you 100%. I'm with you 100%.
That's nice there by Havertz. That's nice. That's nice. That's nice by Havertz. You know what? Havertz has put in a total performance. What you guys have to remember is he could have 2 or 3 assists with the balls that he's running through on the back line on the side. He's finding them pockets, playing the balls into the middle. Jesus has missed 2 chances. Jesus has missed that shot with his right foot and the header, which he goes the other way, both on Havertz's crosses. Havertz has played a total game today.
Guys, it's a tapping. I'm sorry. That's all Jorginho. He
Yeah,
got a tapping.
you see how he gets across the front post, Apollo. He gets across the front post.
Yeah,
That's
what
what
it's the movement, Bertram. It's the movement.
No, we agree with that, but let's not figure he created. I mean, Jorginho did the work. He got
but I'm talking about in the first half when he created those 3 chances. He created.
He's been playing well. He's been playing well overall. He's playing well.
Giroud used to do it all the time, didn't he? Get across that defender, across that front post. Giroud was a master at it.
Excellent. Well, we can breathe easily now.
I think we're making 2 changes actually. Martinelli and Trossard coming on. I'd assume for Saka and Jesus. I would assume Saka is going off.
Yeah, good.
And Jesus, yep.
Yeah, Saka and Jesus.
I thought bringing Smith Rowe at some point for Odegaard actually. He was man of the match in the next game, so I'd probably give him another run.
That will never happen.
It's gonna happen.
Guys, Andy, who's our Spurs correspondent here on the panelists on a Friday night, he's saying he's going mad in the chat. He's saying he can't believe how much the referee's letting the fouls go by Arsenal. And I sent a nice little cheeky message to him.
Andy say, "Stop crying, stop crying." We don't want them whining Spurs fans. Stop crying, stop crying.
He misses you, Bertram. He said the other day that he misses bantering with you. I said to Andy, top of the league. Hey, I said to Andy, top of the league treatment. We haven't had that for a while. Oh God, you know the top teams, Bertram. They always get the best calls. We haven't had that for a while.
I think the ref is just no. I think there's been a communication to the ref to let the game flow. Actually, they've been letting a lot go of late. Actually,
yeah.
If you the last 2 or 3 since the international break, when you come back, they've been letting a lot go. A lot of fouls on both sides, actually.
Yeah. Cam says
fouls anyway.
Cam said, I must admit, Jesus works defensively hard like Eddie.
I say Odegaard enough does forget.
Where are you going, Trossard? Where are you going? There's 3 men there. You're trying to dribble the ball. Lay the ball off and start to play again. Rotate the ball. You're dribbling the ball in the corner. There's 3 men coming. You have nowhere to go, and you slip. That's why Guardiola is such a hard time.
Do something special against you.
When to dribble.
Emerson said Arsenal fan threw a flare. He's going to be in trouble because the CCTV will pick that up. Cam says Dunk is really Tesco's Maguire. I don't think you need to put the Tesco's in there because Maguire is Tesco's, isn't he?
Maguire on Wish.
Yeah. You don't need to put the Tesco's in there because Maguire's Maguire. So Dunk is really just Maguire. Yeah, I agree with that. And he says Rice needs to calm down the holding midfield. He can't. Rice isn't that type of player, mate. That's what makes Thomas Partey Thomas Partey.
Thomas Partey is just pure class.
Elite,
pure class.
I said it last season. He's the best player on the team. Bertram, you're the one that originally called it.
Yeah, no, it's pure class. Pure class.
Saka coming off?
He came off.
Yeah.
He and Jesus.
Oh.
Being replaced by Martinelli and Trossard.
Yeah.
I
just don't see where Trossard plays, though. He's not a winger. He's not a 10. He's not a 9.
I told you he plays
football. I just don't have a position. He's like
I told you he plays. They call it the Foden role, don't they? Where you're just in those pockets. It's the Smith Rowe role as well. They call it the Smith Rowe Foden. It's just your pocket. You're a pocket player, someone who can find empty spaces in the final third. It doesn't. We can call it a number 8, but it doesn't really have a number. It doesn't really have.
But Foden's a much more complete footballer, right? Foden can play a lot of different places.
Yeah, but isn't that the very definition? Trossard's played the 10. He's played the 9. He's played the 8. He's played the 11. Smith Rowe's played the 11. He's played the 10. He's played the 8. So isn't that the very definition, Bertrand?
But the question is, where is he effective? That's the question.
Because we can't call it a false nine, can we? I mean,
no, he's not a false nine.
Yeah,
good footballers, but they don't seem to fit any place perfectly.
Yeah, there just isn't a name for somebody with that skill set.
So we're going into this show now, like we normally do when we go up.
I was just going to say that, Bertram.
Yeah, but this should switch to counter attack though, which means that you should then you probably may need to sub off Havertz.
I think you just invite pressure with this defense like this. I think you invite pressure. But they don't. So Brighton trying to do what we do. They're trying to walk the ball in the box first, put the ball over the top, hope for a ricochet or something, because anything may happen when the ball's in your box.
So that's guys. I just want to say that's nine Premier League goals for Kai Havertz this season. 4 of which has come from February. So he's excelling in the role. Remember, I said to you, there should only be one number 9 striker in the team right now, and that is Kai Havertz. And he's created 3 chances tonight, joint most player on the pitch. I think he gets my man of the match at the moment. Cam says, glad Saka is off. I think he's put in 1 cross for the whole game. He's going to get exposed against Bayer for being average. It's a bit hard.
We need to come out of the defense. Come on, guys. Because when we win the ball, we just play it back to them.
Yeah.
We need to come further at the pitch. Force them to play with caution. That's what we need to do.
The Arsenal was just basically saying, can you break us down? Are you good enough?
Yeah. Well.
I said it to you. I said it to both of you before. The team has to learn to conserve energy. It's gears. You got to know how to work your gears. Against Luton, they never came out of second gear. You can't be going into 4th, 5th gear in a situation like this when you're 2-0 up and you've got a Champions League game in a week. You just can't do it. Conserve your energy, play possession. Let's go home. Let's win the game and let's go home and look forward to Bayern Munich. You have to be smart and you've got to be wise in these situations. Would you agree, Vincey?
Yeah, man. I mean, at the end of the day, it's comfortable, man. It's comfortable and it's painful watching some of the chances that Brighton are creating because it's of our sloppy play. But at the end of the day, you 2-0 up. Changes will come.
Nice, David Raya. Hold that.
Yeah, changes will come, and I think that's when you'll see us be a little bit more clinical.
Good shot, Trossard. Even though I would have passed that ball, I wouldn't have shot it, but
keeper should have held it.
Yeah, I think this is a pass here. I think you have too many people forward to be shooting. You gotta get a better opportunity to score.
Same nonsense he did against City.
Yeah, that's why he gets to square that ball. A one-time score to Martinelli is in on goal.
Yeah, I think Martinelli was the next side over, weren't he? Over past Havertz.
Yeah.
But he's against his old club and he wants to score. Wants to say, look at me now. I mean, I'm big time.
And the thing is, guys, look at the directness in his game on just that one move. Yeah? Look at the directness in his game just on one move.
Oh, it's hit Havertz. The header from Saliba hit Havertz.
Yeah, he saved it. You know, it was an offside. I think Havertz must have been offside, actually.
You know, first off, Gary and Bertrand were saying we're playing with our food too much ticky-tacky football. And then Trossard comes on with the directness and no nonsense. Just let's get on with it. Let's get with the 3.
Erajenko is coming out. And
someone called him Bumchenko. Someone called him Bumchenko before.
So Paul, I need to ask you: Has Arteta got a fee to this channel because he seems to be making substitutions based on what we say?
Well, I can say to you that his youngest son does watch this channel.
He does.
The one that I met when I was sitting with Arteta's wife. He does
Okay.
watch this channel. So make of that what you will.
Yeah. I know he's a keen eye.
Does that mean I have to be nice? Does that mean I have to be nice? I let me start hesitating. Let me start just be by saying
It might mean, Stan, that you might have to release some money.
I already gave him a lot of money. He spent $500 million or pounds for that matter, not even dollars. Somebody
And you
go
know what?
inside and play it inside.
How is
funny,
he
isn't it?
onside?
How have we got done by that ball?
How?
I know.
Oh, nice play. Unlucky. Oh, unlucky.
Right, that's a dirty foul. Back in 2 seconds, guys.
I mean, it's just been a dominant display. Arsenal 16 shots, 5 on target. You're away from home. It's another clean sheet. Time to rest some players, I think. Time to rest some players. So you've made 3 substitutions at the moment, and you've still got Odegaard on the field. That's my only issue. Let's have a look.
What are you doing? Just get rid of the. Substitutions are Martinelli.
So hold on. No, yeah, but so Bayern Munich is on Tuesday. Wow.
So my nephew who's an Arsenal hater said Brighton had one job, but they can't even do it.
Mad.
You going to that game, Apollo?
No, I'm gonna stay and do the stream. Because the thing is, what if Tony and me go to the games together? There's no one here to host. So I decided not to do it for medical reasons as well. Like, you know, it just means less work for me. In the week, it's hard because when I go to work at 9 and I finish in the day, due to my lung capacity, I tire a lot, so I rest a lot in the evening, and then having to come in and do a 2-3 hour stream is easier than for me to then do a full day's work, and then I've got to do the whole Arsenal thing at the Emirates Stadium. It's tough, man. It's tough.
I must say about Rhea, though, he does a good job of coming for crosses, actually.
Yeah, brilliant.
That was enough.
He anticipated crosses well, and he does come for them well.
Yeah, he's number 1 in the league, Bertram, at coming for crosses. And the thing is, Bertram...
Isn't that a red card referee? Shouldn't that be a red card referee? If he fouled him when he's going through...
There's a defender tracking
it
back.
should be a yellow. So is that a goal scoring opportunity? I know it's away from goal, but...
Towards the other side,
he's the last man, isn't he? He's the last man.
No,
there's another guy covering.
He's on the left. He's way away from the play.
Yeah, they'll say he could have got round and covered because he's Lewis Superman.
Danny Danger's off.
He's Superman, yeah. He can put on his cape.
He's done to Maguire.
You know what? I would take a look at that if I was VAR.
I mean, if you look at the play, there's no way he can catch up.
I need to see a closer look at that.
Never getting that. Oh, you got it.
Yeah, I need to take a closer look at that. Right, Tony's not here, so that means we've got to look at the stats. Right, let's have a look. Where are we? Alan Smith on Sky says Havertz's movement tonight has been first class and his willingness to run behind is not something you always associate with him. Well, actually, that's incorrect, Alan, because I've talked about this on the channel. I've talked about the fact that last season he was the second highest player in the Premier League in movement. So we know that. All of us here know that because we've all seen the stats. So unfortunately, Alan Smith has missed that. He's completely missed that. And Havertz is doing what Havertz does.
Oh, he got kicked in the dinkle.
Gary said Dinkle, everybody. Gary said Dinkle.
What is that? What is that? What is that?
Gary said Dinkle.
For the street, bro. I was keeping it clean for the street.
Oh, it's a British term. Oh, it's a British term.
Yeah.
I left UK a long time ago. I don't know those terms.
So Gary, what do you call the other sex's parts? What do you call that? No, it should be safe because it's YouTube, so it should be safe. As a Jamaican, we call it I don't know. Is it? Yeah. So it's MEEMEE. That's what we call it.
Mimi.
Yeah. What do you call it, Gary? Gary's killing himself. If you can't say it, then just send it in the private chat. If you can't say it, just say it because send it in the private chat.
To think about it, innit?
I'm looking at Havertz's metrics here for this game. It is crazy.
Saliba's got a yellow card. That was a smart move by Saliba. There's no reason to foul him.
Silly foul. So we didn't need to.
He's not going anywhere.
No, I would call it a Vajaja.
That's not a yellow card either. He was falling before he got to him. That's not a yellow card.
Interesting.
Yeah, he's halfway down, but it just makes it look like the fouls put him down.
It's a Brighton squad. We don't want Brighton. We want Arsenal. Where's Saliba just got a yellow card, so we've seen. I'm trying to get the statistics for the game coming up. Oh, Matt,
excellent.
What were you doing, Georgie?
What? Oh, Trossard. Was that Rice or Trossard? Jorginho. She's still doing it.
Don't let him do that to you, man. Come on.
Oh, you just got.
Should have been taken off. Yeah.
He's blatantly dived for a penalty there. Blatantly.
That's not a penalty. You're not worried about
No, he blatantly tried to con the ref.
So it should not be a booking then.
It's time to get Jorginho off the pitch, man. The game.
Yeah, he's struggling. He's struggling. I don't know why he's taking him off already.
Yeah. Emerson said Vincey got spot on with the decision. It says all in the bread in the basket.
Again, man. That's a blatant dive. He kicked his own foot.
Andy's in meltdown mode.
But isn't that normal? That's normal for Andy, isn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, when it comes to Arsenal, maybe I'll watch a Spurs game tomorrow and do the same thing to him.
I'll tell you who was in meltdown mode. Who's the guy that does the Man United one? Is it Mark Goldbridge?
Oh God.
He was in total meltdown the other day.
Yeah, he was. They just don't want to see. You know what it is? They're so used to having the two rival system trying to win the title. This is the first time, Vincey, in Premier League history, that three teams have been separated by 2 points after 30 games. It's the first time it's been this close. which has got to be great for the league, right? Every
Yeah, it's
league
great for the
involved
league.
would want something. Yeah.
It's just going to be interesting if this goes all the way down to the last match, how it's going to pan out. But yeah, it's for the neutral. It's good. And I think even the other end of the table is good as well. Even with the points deducted for those teams, they've given themselves a good chance to stay up.
Well, Luton won today, didn't they? So
Yeah.
what is that?
Now who go to the Spuds tomorrow. I want to see Luton up.
Luton are on the same points as Nottingham Forest. So.
Oh, why are you not hit? Oh, couldn't bring it down. What a touch from Havertz, though, man.
I think, guys, 82 minutes gone. I think Havertz is going to get my man of the match. The way it looks like at the moment. I think Havertz is going to get my man of the match at the moment. The only difference is, what do I score him at the moment? I've got him scored as an 8, Bertram. I've got him as an 8 out of 10 at the moment, Kai Havertz.
I think Rice has had a very good game defensively, actually. I don't think people realize how much work Rice has put in this game.
Yeah.
A lot of work.
Havertz in things. But Havertz, I think, just about, especially with the second goal, probably just shades it.
Yeah.
I mean, this defensive unit is so strong. Everybody knows their positions.
Yeah, it's ridiculous, man.
Come on, pressure the ball, Rice. Pressure the ball. Don't back off. Pressure the ball.
I think, Gary, somebody mentioned it that, we feel sorry for the other teams. We might even just give them a chance now. We might even just give them chances because it's so... I mean, look, this would be the 12th clean sheet in 31 games.
I mean, Brighton have never really looked like scoring, apart from that shot that Reyes had to deal with. Everything else has been pretty... Oh, how's he kept that in?
So, guys, that's 12 clean sheets in 31 games. Vincey, 24 goals allowed in 31 games. That's George Graham type of football.
George Graham would have been only 17.
Yeah.
I'm not saying clean sheet until the referee blows his whistle.
You don't want to put your mouth.
I learned against Jamaica playing US the other day in the stadium. And the last kick of the game. Last kick of the game. Exact last kick. It scored that. So I don't make those commitments until the game.
Oh, babe, Martin.
I said that to Gary when we played Porto. I said you put your mouth on it.
Yeah.
Before it gets started.
Hey, Gary, in Jamaica, when you put your mouth on it, we call it snake tongue.
You said that again, sorry?
I said in Jamaica, when you put your mouth on it, we call it snake tongue.
Come on, pressure the ball. We're doing the same Man City defense, I call it nowadays.
I think Gary was a Jamaican in his past life.
Okay, go ahead now, Trossard. Go ahead, Trossard. Take your time now. Take your time.
Muscle.
Brilliant. You know what I like?
Excellent,
He faked the kick the first time.
Excellent.
He committed the keeper,
man.
right? He committed the keeper when he faked it. So then he's in a better position.
Brilliant. Fantastic.
Brilliant. Well done.
My God, how many goals has he scored for Arsenal this season?
12 now, isn't it?
Yes,
that's what you want. Quality chances.
That's incredible.
Quality finish.
He took it really well, though.
Substitutions coming on now. Must make the sub.
And he created the chance, He's the one who won the ball.
Yeah, that's lovely. He dinks it over the goalkeeper.
A while ago, throws the keeper.
Yeah.
Can that be another assist for Havertz?
I think so.
Havertz played him through.
Brilliant goal. Well done.
That's just fantastic.
That's class. That's pure class.
And this is not good for Man City, and it's not good for Liverpool. And the reason for that is, guys, they thought they were actually making up the goal difference against us. But no, They really haven't.
Well, City were plus 40 at the end of today, weren't they? And now we're plus 51.
Yeah, they've actually lost by 1 goal this weekend in
Yeah,
terms
they're
of
plus
goal
40.
difference.
They're 11 goals behind us, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
And all were plus
Liverpool, we're +8 on Liverpool.
plus
Yeah.
9 in Liverpool.
+9 now, yeah. So it's nice that they're scoring 4 free goals every week, our rivals, but they're really not making a dent in the goal difference to us at all. So let me is
Go
that
on
an
now. Go
assist?
on now. Play in the
This is
middle. Hold the covers open. Hold the covers open.
It's just a brick wall.
Yeah, it's
Go
an
on.
assist for Havertz. So guys, Havertz is gonna have to get an 8.5 for me. It's gone up from an 8, Bertram, to an 8.5.
Oh, why only pass it, man? It's a corner.
Yeah, and Bertram, who predicted it?
Huh?
Who predicted 3-0?
Is that what you predicted?
Yeah, it's exactly
I
what
didn't make a
predicted.
prediction, actually.
What did you think it was going to be?
2-1.
I said 3-1.
Our
We
defense
always
is
struggle
too
with
good.
Brighton, but I mean, it's not the same Brighton we played last, in the previous years with. Because they had McAllister and they had Caicedo, who were very good in the middle. They give us a hard time. Amatomo out wide on the left. That was a different team, but it's still a good team.
I'll tell you something. Fabio Vieira is just having a word with Eddie and Getty there. Eddie doesn't look happy, man.
He's coming on.
Yeah, but it doesn't look happy.
Odegaard is off. Havertz is off. Eddie shouldn't be happy. Eddie's wondering what would have done at Crystal Palace. I'd have gotten a sign-on bonus. I probably got about 17 out of 100K. I'll be scoring goals. I have more chance of the England team. I love my boyhood club, but I'm not sure that was the right move staying at Arsenal.
Yeah, I think the only problem I have now, I think Havertz. The only problem I have is Havertz going to get an 8.5 or a 9, and he's moving his way up to a 9 at the moment. He's off the field now, but he's got 5 tackles, which leads everyone. He's got 3 chances created, leads.
Vieira pulls the save from the keeper.
Yeah.
Talk to me, Gary.
So corner comes in, and Gabriel meets it with a firm header straight at the keeper, who literally pushes it just off the line. And Eddie can't climb high enough. It's over the bar. Goal kick.
Mad.
Now this is another game. Gabriel could have had 2 or 3 goals in this game himself.
Yeah.
Anywhere else in
Gabriel is always open in the box. You notice that?
So that
Gabriel is always open in the box. Always.
Yeah, he's the go-to guy, isn't he? So he's the one that will block for him, and he's the one that always gets into space.
And you've got to credit the corner taker as well. You've got to credit none of that happens if you don't hit a corner right on the money and pass your first man.
Corner Brighton. Saliba stands strong. So 5 minutes added on, guys. Arsenal moving their way to another comfortable victory in another cool game. 7 to go. It's still on.
Who's Liverpool playing tomorrow?
Man United.
Man United
That's
derby
right.
game
Man U.
at Old
I
Trafford.
hope it's not the Man U that played Chelsea.
They're actually quite good at home, They're actually quite good at home. And the Liverpool game, that's like Arsenal Tottenham, minute. The form guide goes out the window.
Wow. Brighton got a chance a while ago and didn't put it away. Wow. Must be Gabriel. Yep, it's Gabriel blocking it. Always Gabriel. Always Gabriel blocking it. He should have scored that. If he put in the corner, he scored.
That was in, If Gabriel doesn't block that, that's breaking the net.
Yeah, but he should have scored. He should go higher, though. You got to go higher.
I think you would just hit Gabriel in the face.
No, he put in the corner. He wouldn't have blocked that.
Did you see that Douglas Luiz picked up a late yellow card, so he's suspended for the Arsenal game?
Yeah, I saw when you sent that. Yeah. I saw when you sent that. Shout out to everybody watching the stream. Big up to all of you guys. Andy's just said, fair play to Arsenal, though. Strong professional performance. Poor old Andy. What does this look like from a Spurs fan? Could you imagine if you're an Arsenal fan and you're watching Spurs going top of the league, battling it out with the two top teams? How frustrating would that be?
Andy's saying we're going to spoil the party. That's what Andy's saying. We're going to spoil your party.
I think I know what Gary's going to say. Gary's probably going to talk about the Champions League final with Liverpool and Spurs. Is that right, Gary?
Nah.
Oh, okay.
The new Spurs would not have won that. But I was saying, when was the last time that we saw Spurs going level with the top two in the Premier League? I can't remember that.
True, but you can't deny that we were crapping it when Spurs was playing Liverpool in the Champions League final, though.
Never.
You can't lie to me and say you weren't.
It was only a handball that separates the team, didn't it? Wasn't a handball and what's his name? Sissoko?
Yeah. Emerson says 5 minutes added on Havertz. Yeah, same for me, mate. And I was saying this I said it in the first half, didn't I? I said Havertz is putting in the man of the match performance.
Goals, 1, assists 1, chances created 3, something else 8 in total.
Tackles as well.
What's added on there?
It's a complete performance from your centre forward. Complete performance.
And he's only 2 yellow cards away from a suspension.
So I would assume Partey's going to play against Bayern because I can't see Jorginho playing 2 games so close to each other.
Oh, here it is. 8 touches in the box as well for Havertz. It's a total performance. And again, for me, it comes back to anyone who's saying, what is he doing in the team? What does he bring to us? He brings so much defensively. He brings so much offensively with his hold-up play. What you saw today was actually a lot of his creativity, the amount of chances he created. He could have had 2, 3, 4 assists today, Kai Havertz. It doesn't. The stats don't really tell you much about his overall game.
But I think from the beginning of the season, a lot of people criticize him. He's not doing this, he's not doing that. But there was those of us that actually saw everything that he did do. The running off the ball, the defensive work, winning this header, winning this tackle, being first person to press along with Odegaard. So he does bring so much to this team. And now he's adding the goals to it and the assists. It's looking like 60 million was a bargain, to be honest.
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. Bertram, let's hear you chime in about Havertz.
I was one of the critics. I hold my hand up. Still am. Haven't totally convinced me yet. But he's done well. And you got to give praise where praise is due. He's done really, really well. And the hope is that he continues to do well. I still think we need a more dynamic 9 because we're going to a different level. And as you go up the levels, you got to have the players who can perform consistent at that level.
I do agree with that.
It reminds me of like Smith Rowe in a sense where they're very good players. You hear me talk about Smith Rowe, you hear me talk about there are certain players who they're very good players. You're just trying to figure out where do you fit in a position. Like you're always looking for that. Where does a player fit in a position? Are they a 9? Are they a 10? Are they a winger? Are they a CDM? Where do they fit? And fit any good place. Go ahead, Gary.
Sheet. Another excellent performance. 7 to go. It's still on.
Yeah, that's it. Let me just put FT in here for full time, and then I'll work on the player ratings. There we go. Let's keep that up in there. Bertram, you were just finishing talking about Havertz.
No, look, the kid has played well. He's overcome all the criticism that people like myself have bestowed upon him. I use the word bestowed. We have given him a lot of, and he's taken it, absorbed it, and produced on the field. So you just have to say kudos to him. Long may continue, because we're not criticizing him for criticism's sake. We weren't supportive of him being acquired. Well, I wasn't acquired from Chelsea, given our experience with Chelsea. Jorginho has sort of negate that a little bit because he's come and done well, even at his age, and he only cost 10, 12 million pounds.
Yeah,
and he's produced more than what his acquisition price was. But and it's good to see now we have Havertz, who is doing really well. Arteta loves him obviously because he plays him a lot. If you just think about, because he doesn't really get injured, he puts in a shift. He plays both offense and defense actually, even though most of our players do. But he puts in a shift. And he has a languid style, which takes away from how much he contributes defensively, because you'd view him when that languid style is almost like he's not putting an effort in. but the effort is there, and his production is showing it. So
But Vincey, what's your thoughts on Kai Havertz today?
I think he led the line well. He's finished well second half. I think he had a good all-round game. I think I understand fans' frustration early on in the season with Havertz because he was slow in our play down, and when you were looking for him to move into situations that he's showing, like today, he's a lot more confident getting in those situations. He wasn't taking the chances. So, it wasn't fans just moaning. I think fans were being critical of what you expect a player to perform in that position because we were creating chances in the team. So today, he looked more comfortable in that situation, whereas Jesus won the penalty in that situation to give us the goal. So it's shown in Havertz he's more comfortable playing that role, and it's a nice tap in, good run across, and it was needed the defender to get in that situation. So I'm pleased for Havertz. I've long said he should be scoring minimum 10 goals. Our fans earlier were saying that's too much pressure. 10 goals is 10 goals. You can't be in those positions in this Arsenal team and not put the ball in the back of the net. You know what I mean? It's just realness. It's realness. If you're playing in that position, you've got that ability, 10 goals. 10 goals. So I'm happy for him. Happy for Trossard. Nice little touch at the end there. He won the ball, as Bertram said, and laid the keeper down and dinked it. So I think the scoreline showed Arsenal's dominance in the game, because I think Arsenal were very dominant. And it just bodes well. Bodes well for Bayern Munich, because I think there's going to be a tougher.
I'll tell you something, Vincey. I'm hoping, because Raya didn't look too comfortable leaving the pitch, nor did Gabriel. Looked like they picked up little knocks there. Raya was gesturing down towards his ankle. So hopefully everyone comes through this unscathed, so we take on Bayern Munich with our proper team out.
Yeah, and you look at that situation where Raya he had to come out twice to get the ball, and these situations could cost us if we don't manage the game better. He saved us in those situations by coming out and getting the ball before the Brighton attacker, and probably got a knock. Some of Gabriel's overplaying today. We just got to be switched on a little bit more second half. But overall, 3-0, happy. Brighton's a tough team to go to and get a result, and clean sheet. So Arteta must be really, really pleased. Well happy.
Yeah, he is. Gary, elaborate on what you just said a little bit more.
What's that about the injuries?
Yeah.
Yeah, so obviously coming off the pitch, David Raya was shaking his head and gesturing down to, I think it must have been his left, just below, I'm going to say his left ankle, something like that. He's taken a knock. He didn't, little grimace on the face. He didn't look too comfortable. And the same with Gabriel. Albert headphones over to him to have a little chat. Gabriel sort of nodded his head, but I think he's picked up a little slight niggle from this game. So I'm just going to touch wood, and hopefully that they all come through this unscathed, with Bayern coming up. Is it Tuesday? This coming Tuesday?
It's Tuesday. Yeah, this is why I was frustrated. Yeah, I was frustrated with the fact that Martin Odegaard has just not really had any rest.
Yeah, I think that's why. That's another thing when we're talking about trying to walk this ball into the net. Like we had 9 shots, 2 on target, but all the ones that ain't shooting, that ain't shots, could have been shots. If we go 3, 4, 5, bang, 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 you never know. Then you got a chance to rest players on the half hour with half hour left, not play them till 85 minutes.
But overall, Gary, you've gone away to a team that's in the top 10 side. It's crunch time. The pressure's on. your rivals are winning every single week. You're going away from home, and then you churn out a 3-0 win like this, and
Oh yeah, I'm complaining. I'm just saying, kind of made it a little bit hard work because we didn't really get out of second gear. Luton, we was in first gear. Today we was in second gear. We're playing well within ourselves. But I think game management, just go and get the game won as quick as possible while you're playing within yourselves. Then you're going to allow players to have a longer rest. Makes sense, no? Me,
yeah, it
anyway.
does. So for you, and I'm still doing player ratings while we're doing this. For you, who's going to be your surprise player who comes in to play against Bayern Munich on Tuesday?
I think it's set up to Party because obviously Jorginho is not going to be able to play 2 games. So I think Party comes in for Jorginho and everything else stays the same. I don't think they've got a lot of injuries, haven't they? Coman's out. They've got quite a few out. So I'm happy that Kingsley Coman's not playing because I think I've always been a big admirer of his. But they've got 3 or 4 big people out. I think what's he faced? Kimmich, he's doubtful. I was reading earlier on today. So I just think that it stays the same. Maybe Tomiyasu for Zinchenko and Partey for Jorginho. Apart from that, it just stays exactly the same.
What scoreline would you be happy with at the Emirates in the first leg?
I'd be happy with a couple of goals. 2-0. If we don't concede, 2-0, 3-0, who knows? The main thing with them, we've got to stop that Harry Kane, didn't we? He always don't give him his customary penalty against us, man. That's
He's
all
not he's not in good form at the moment, is he?
He set up 2 goals today, did he not?
You did, but last 2 or 3 weeks has been missing some sitters.
But 4 contributions this season, Harry Kane for Bayern Munich. But I'm not really.
He's never in bad form against Arsenal.
Yeah, I'm not reading too much into that because of obviously the German league is not the Premier League. But I just don't want to.
Did Bertram just say he gets a lot of penalties against Arsenal?
No, I say he's never in bad form against Arsenal ever.
I was just taking a mick out the amount of penalties.
I know what you're saying. That's why he's never in bad form. He'll get a penalty.
But Arsenal are a different beast at the moment, isn't we? The way that we're shutting out teams. I mean, Brighton today caused us more problems than a lot of teams have done recently, and they still couldn't score. 1 shot on target.
Yeah.
So, bodes well.
Right, Bertram, what would you be happy with? Any surprise starters for you on Tuesday, and what score would you be happy with against Bayern Munich?
Well, I think there are 3 choices to consider. There is Martinelli out left. He's been out for a while. The question is,
I forgot about that.
Do you play Jesus or do you play Martinelli? Because Havertz's going to start. Do you play Saka, who has been injured, who has not played well, but always produces something, even though he didn't in the last couple of games? Partey has to come in because his cameo against City and his play last week suggests he's ready to play. And I'm glad he's not overplaying him by playing him today. And I think Tommy has to come into Zinchenko because you can't play Zinchenko against the better teams offensively, in my mind, because even though it gives you quite a bit more offensively than the left backs do, whether it's Kiri or Tommy. And Tommy has been out a little bit, and that's the concern I have, which is Tommy has not played consistently. He played in Asia when he went away for international duties, but he didn't play every game either. So is Tommy fully fit? Can he play a full game? But his defense is going to be needed. There's going to be more defense we need in the defense than offense, frankly. So I would probably play Partey and Rice a double pivot in the middle. You can have Rice be more of a Roma, but play a double pivot in the middle and play Odegaard across the line versus just being on the right with Saka. And I think that team should be pretty formidable to play against Bayern.
But you'd be happy with what, 2-0, 3-0?
No, I'd be happy with 5-0. Because I remember when they smoked us 5 at home at our own place. Yeah. Remember Ozil missed that sitter in the first part of the game and they came back and just destroyed us? I'd be happy with 5-0.
Well, listen, don't forget we're revenge. I was getting the revenge from something they've done for us some years ago. This season, we're getting it, so Bayern are next.
Yeah, but what about you,
They
Vincey?
gotta come win. They gotta come to play. So, yeah.
What about you, Vincey? Who would your surprise? What players would you actually put in terms of who doesn't normally like a Smith Rowe or Partey? Who would you like to see play on Tuesday? And what scoreline would you be happy with?
I think Partey needs to have a run out. Whether he can last 90 minutes or not, I'm not sure. But I think his cool head and his passing will benefit us at home. I think it's going to be an open game. I think Bayern are going to be scared of us, but they can hurt us on the counter. So Tomiyasu, as Bertram said, if he's fit to play, to start, it will be valuable. If not, then I'll still go with Curiel because I just don't have the confidence of Zinchenko in those situations. Martinelli would also be a possibility to start, but again, if you stop and look and see how much minutes he got today, yes, he's got more, which probably leads to that mindset that he could start ahead of Jesus. But I think he probably would go with Jesus starting and bringing Martinelli on. I know you're saying possibly a 2-0, but as Bertram says, if you create chances against Bayern Munich, you want to finish them. I don't want to be seeing what we saw today.
Two today, weren't they? And they lost 3-2 against a team of no hopers.
Yeah, I don't want to be seeing what we saw today, and we're leaving it too late to score goals against Bayern Munich. We need to be taking our chances because that changes the dynamic of how the game is playing. Definitely the second leg. So score as many as you can when you've got good opportunities. That's what I say. That's the hallmark of a good, confident team playing confident football.
Okay, right. Emerson just sent a photo of the flare. G says excellent win, phenomenal banana skin potential. Yeah, might not concede a goal again for the rest of the season. And then he says we look so good, it's frightening. Camden says Vieira needs some minutes. God, we're good. I can't quite believe it. I'm shaking. Yeah, you know what? I'm not at that point because we're used to it. Like, I think me and Gary had our moment. When did me and Gary have our moment? Probably when we beat West Ham 6-0. Because on that game, I think Vincey was with us in that game. I think on that game, we just lost it. Because it weren't reality anymore. Like, you were just doing something that no other team has just done, just consistently, away from home. Just blowing teams away, just not even giving them a chance.
He's come. Sorry to interrupt your point. He's come back. They've had 2 shots on target. Brighton.
Yeah, I just saw that, which actually is the most we've given up for the whole year. Isn't that? That's like we're in April now. Like the season's over in a couple of weeks. Yeah, and we're talking about Arsenal giving up.
I'm knocking them all down a point.
It's shocking, and so if I go to. Let me just go to this. Let me go to just check. Right. So Man City gave up 5 shots on target today, 7 shots. Liverpool are playing tomorrow, but Liverpool in their last game, which was against Sheffield United, like team at the bottom of the league, and Liverpool gave up 4 shots on target. So it's just like we're no one's playing the type of football that we're playing at the moment. Emerson said Tomiyasu and Zinchenko. Is that right? Right. And keep Jorginho in the midfield, Martinelli over Saka, and keep the rest of the team. It picks itself. It says, Gary, did you answer my question? I think that was the question. Let me see.
To play for Brighton, weren't it?
Yes, I think that's the one. Yeah. Right, let me go into the player ratings, guys. Player ratings. Oh, hold on a second. No, we don't want to listen to Alan Smith because he didn't even figure out Havertz's statistic. So let me go into the player ratings. I'm going to give Raya a 7.5. Again, steady distribution. K-Batten made 4 collections today, leads the Premier League in that as well. His save percentage which was actually he's led the Premier League in save percentage over the last 2 years, and it was like 61%, which was not good at all. So he hadn't, but that was him and Ramsdale before Christmas. But since the new year, his save percentage has really spiked up. He's in the 70% now. Made a brilliant save today to deny Encesco with his curling effort. But outside of that, he's been pretty much untroubled. And what people have to realise is sometimes
Apollo Saka's coming for an interview. I don't know if you want to.
I'll pick that up as soon as he comes in. I'll pick it up as soon as he comes in. And unless actually you turn up your television and we go with your feed.
What's the mood like right now?
Yeah, we're all buzzing. You know, we know what the win takes us back on. So yeah, to come here after playing 3 days, I'm really happy with the boys. We put in another top performance and we're building momentum.
Was it touch and go for you to actually make it today?
Yeah, so I was struggling, but as long as I have 2 legs, I'm going to give everything and want to be on the pitch. So I'm happy to be out there today.
Was it tough, particularly in the first half?
Yeah, at times, you know, Brighton are really good, especially at home. You know, the biggest strength is playing up from their back, and sometimes they get out and you have to sprint back. But I felt we defended really well, like we have been this season.
Bakari, I want to ask you a question, right? When you step up second penalty, your thought process leading up to it, you know, can you just talk people through what you do? Because obviously in the summer, what happened with course yourself, you've been a penalty taker for Arsenal for day one now, and I just want to know your thought process when you step up there, focused. What are you thinking right now?
So my routine, and I always know normally where I'm going since yesterday. So for me, just pull on the spot, do my usual routine, take a breath, relax, and execute. And I think it's been a success for me, obviously.
How much do you practice that routine?
Well, I practice every day before the match. So yeah, it's just basically once or twice a week. Really.
Is it muscle memory now then for you?
I wouldn't say I'm the perfect taker.
That was cybernetic, that one, Bakari.
Yeah, it was nice. I practiced that yesterday, and that's exactly how it went yesterday. So practice makes perfect, I guess.
I'm really interested in Theo's question as well about the mental side of it, because I don't want to, put dark clouds in your thoughts. But this stage last season was the West Ham game.
Oh yeah,
and you remember what happened then? That was 7 games to go. Your penalty was saved. West Ham got themselves back in the game, and it was a crucial point dropped. Since then, for Arsenal, you scored every time you stepped up. So how much has it taken that mental work to get to that place?
Yeah, I think penalties is a lot mental. Obviously, I've learned my lesson from the sport. And yeah, I think since then, I've just been trying to work hard. Like I said, I always put in a lot of work to perfect my penalties. And yeah, I'm happy that recently I've been scoring them. So I hope I can continue to score like that.
Kyle, what's the difference from this season to last season for you in this final push for the season?
Yeah, so last season was not great. It's not great to think about it, but it was great in the terms where we learned our lesson. Games like this, we need to put to bed. I feel like in these last few games, we're defending so well, clean sheets. Last season, we weren't so well. We conceded late goals, and then we have to defend, and then the fans are on top of us. So yeah, I feel this year we feel more comfortable. I feel the team is better, and yeah, I feel like we're ready for each game to win.
Do you think the defensive mindset? We saw celebrations of stopping shots, and obviously those saves as well. Actually, sometimes it's more important than scoring. Is that defensive mentality really setting you apart from last season then? Yeah,
I think it is. From the keeper to the striker, you saw Kai today, how hard he's working, all the wingers as well, If we keep a clean sheet, the quality we have, normally we're going to score. So that's the mentality we have.
There are some big games to come, not just in the Premier League. Is there still an unknown for you and this Arsenal team with how you're going to handle these huge Champions League quarterfinals that are coming up, and maybe semi-finals after that as well?
Yeah, we know how we're going to handle it. There's only one way, We put 11 players on the pitch who are ready to go full gas from 0 to 90, and we go to win. I think that's the mentality we have to have, and yeah, we're all excited for Tuesday already.
Arsenal fans are certainly excited, Bukayo. Should they be getting excited right now?
I mean, of course they should. We're in a great position, so yeah, we just need to continue.
We won't push you any further than that. Thank you so much. Congratulations. Well done tonight. Good luck in the week against Bayern.
That's it.
Excellent. So thanks for that. And I just wanted to say in regards to Bukayo Saka that he's been awful the last two games, and I thought he had a decent game today, especially the defensive side, which actually he made a point of. And he was going back and helping to facilitate that back line and winning the ball back. And it took a little bit extra for that today because of the tactics of De Zerbi. He knew what he was doing, and that midfield was giving us a little bit of a problem. But it seemed like Arteta adjusted to it in regards to what he did with Xhaka and what he did with Saka, and what he did with Havertz as well, because of the way Havertz dropped into the midfield and the amount of work that he did. As I said, 5 tackles from Havertz in this game as well, which led all players on the field. So. Yeah, so listen, good for him. Will he start on Tuesday? Of course he will. If you looked at his Champions League numbers, I think only Harry Kane and Victini Jr. Have scored and assisted as much as Saka in the Champions League this season. So it goes to show you he's been really productive in that competition. But I think it comes down to his fitness. If he's not fit, don't play him. It's as simple as that. He just said he wasn't 100% today. So my question is, why did he start? Nelson scored a goal in the last game. You could have played Reece Nelson today. There's just no excuses for that. Gary?
Yeah, I agree. I 100% agree. I think it's such an important area that Arteta has to get right. Every time he puts the player on the field, they have to be. I mean, listen, we know that you can pick up an injury, if you are so-called fully. I know Tony would say no one's ever 100% fit. You can pick up an injury, but if you're playing someone with an existing injury, are they not more likely? Does it not tell you that they are more likely to break? And if this kid breaks, I've got this terrible feeling that he's gonna break hard, and we're gonna be without him for like a year plus. So I just want Arteta to be mindful of it. You've got Nelson, you've got Trossard, you've got Jesus who can all play on the right. You got Martinelli that can play on the left. You got Smith Rowe that can play on the left. The squad is strong now. Even Bertram said, when he was talking about the fact that he hasn't had to rush Party back because the squad has gotten so much stronger that you don't need to take chances with players. So let's hope that finish the season with Saka at full flight in every single game. But if he's not fit, give someone else a chance.
Excellent. So let's carry on with the play rating. So I was talking about David Raya, gave him a 7. On to Ben White. Where is it? I've actually lost it. Here we go. Ben White, I'm going to give him a 7 as well. Back against his own club like Trossard and putting a solid display. Made some good runs, some overlap runs in the first half. But again, and towards the second half, Arteta made him stay at home a little bit more due to the stability of the back four. Saliba, I'm going to give a solid 8. And Gabriel, talk about them in tandem. Saliba nullified the threat of Danny Welbeck. I didn't really call Welbeck's name once today, and that was because Saliba had one job to do. And when you think that Saliba's done that consistently against Haaland for 2 games and the Charity Shield, that's 3 games against the top striker, not just in the Premier League, but people are saying in the world, and he hasn't had a sniff against Saliba. So Welbeck comes in here today and doesn't even get a sniff. I thought
he was a League 2 striker. I didn't know he was a top striker in the world. I thought he was League 2.
And as for Gabriel, special mention for Gabriel because he missed Gabriel missed a glorious chance to head it in from the free kick. But I'm going to stand by what I said. I think Gabriel's been the better centre half this season. And people are talking about William Saliba's already in the Premier League first 11. There's publications, TalkSport, BBC, Sky Sports have all said who's in their Premier League team. Obviously, they'll have to revisit that when the season's over. But for now, all of them have said this guy it's William Saliba is Premier League All 11. So what does that make Gabriel? Yeah, if Saliba it makes the first 11, then what does that mean for Gabriel, who I think has had the better season, mainly because I think he's been less sloppy. Although last 2 games probably might not show you that, but then he scored 4 goals and he could have got a 5th today. And so, he's doing that. He's adding that much to his game. And for me, he just gets the nod over it. So we'll talk about that when the season ends and see who comes out tops there. As Zinchenko, he gets a 6. He did look good on the ball going into the midfield, but he kind of nullifies himself in terms of what Jorginho does. And I think Arteta is going to look at the footage today and think that he's tactically, we've walked into a brick wall there, because I just don't see the need for an inverted left back when you're controlling the game so well with a double pivot. Guys, look, and I've said this before, there's 2 things Arsenal fans need to get around their heads. Number one is the predication of the team's performance over the last few years has been with the inverted left back and the single pivot. Both of those things we do not need to do anymore. We've got more, you do not need Thomas Partey as the single man in the midfield controlling the game. It just, you're beyond that now. You've ascended to a double pivot with more stability. And we can see that because we're letting no goals in. We're controlling games in. But we are missing out on transition, but we're just controlling games that much better now because the best teams in the world play with a double pivot. And what we were doing because we didn't have the bodies in the middle, yeah? If you look at the beginning of last season, we didn't have Jorginho, we didn't have Declan Rice. Thomas Partey was just fulfilling a need. There's no need to be playing like that anymore. And that can be said the same as well with the inverted. The inverted was bring another man into the midfield so we could create more overloads. Tactically, that's how it works in football. You don't need to do that. If you're playing with a double pivot, which is controlling the game, suffocating their midfield, there's just no need for it. So I think that these things Arsenal fans are going to have a look at because, and I've been talking about this for months now, this is just Arteta's way of evolving the team. I remember before Christmas when people were saying, no, this team's not better than last year and we need Xhaka. No, we don't need Xhaka. And this team is easily better than it was last season. Just for the simple changes of Arteta evolving as a manager and evolving the system that we've got and able to pay into his philosophy a little bit more. But I'm still going to give Zinchenko a 6. Declan Rice, he gets an 8. Solid game from Declan Rice. I was going to kind of give him a 7, 7.5 because it looks like it's no frills, but he enjoyed a good battle with Carlos Belba in the midfield, and he came out on top. Just like what happened last week when he played Rodri. He came out on top. It's the first player I've seen to just stamp out Rodri in the midfield. And once you nullify Rodri in the midfield, City don't have nothing. Brighton, De Zerbi, fair play to him, came with the 5-man midfield, which is a tactic actually I've seen a couple of teams use against us. But you might have some luck with that in a Partey single pivot. But in a Jorginho, Rice double pivot midfield, the 5-man midfield just won't make they ain't gonna make no difference. They don't matter who you are, what team is in the Premier League. This Arsenal team is so good right now in terms of controlling the tempo of the game, playing in possession. The only thing that frustrates me a little bit is the sloppiness has started to creep in over the last few games, but maybe that's expected. Hitting those levels we hit before the international break is pretty much impossible. And again, we're talking about going away to Brighton and winning 3-0. we're talking about, I remember last season when we won 4-2 and Bertram kept saying to me, Apollo, we were lucky to get that 4-2 victory. Not today. Today, it wasn't even close. Like the class of the team is such that they're putting in displays like this and just making it look easy. Moves on to Odegaard. A solid performance from Odegaard today. At the heart of everything as well. Again, we talk about pre-assists, which is the ball that goes in to the guy who makes the assist. On both accounts, it was Odegaard. Also, the chances that Kai Havertz created, it was Odegaard that looked for those slip balls. That's what he does. Master conductor. He doesn't seem to rack up any stack sheet in any other way, but it's just to let you know that Odegaard is always the man that's behind those attacks when they happen. And so that he gets a 7. Jorginho as well. Again, back into the team to bring more control over it. And I think he struggled in the first 20 minutes, but as the game went on, he started to get a foothold into the game. He's the one that set up Jorginho's, set up the second goal as well. and it's just he's a king at controlling goals games. And even when he doesn't produce man of the match performances, today shows you he's still able to show a control level over the game. But I think at the moment now, the manager has to think about the Thomas Partey situation, because I just think that Partey gives you a little bit more. Partey can control the game as well as Jorginho, but it's what he does in transition, which I don't see Jorginho doing. I just think Partey gives you a lot more on that. But we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Havertz, he's my man of the match. He gets a 9 out of 10. Scored a goal, could have had 3 or so assists, but did get an assist. 5 tackles, leads everyone in the fields. 3 chances created, leaves everybody on the fields. One might even say, and I think I better say this before everybody else does, I think this is probably Havertz's best game as an Arsenal player. And what's this now? It's 5 goals in his last 7 starts at the number 9 position. So any of you asking questions whether he's the right man to put as a striker, that's your answer. And you know, Jesus has had the whole of the first season to prove himself, and last season. And there's just not the consistency in goals there. But then he just doesn't give you the little things like the hold-up play that Havertz does. Havertz is just a better hold-up player. He just is. And then, you know, Jesus, as I said, you like to see him use that ability to dribble by moving him out. That's how he won the penalty, right? So, yeah, listen, the total game for Kai Havertz today. And I, being not so much... a big supporter of Xhaka, but I loved Xhaka's last season with Arsenal. I think Xhaka had an incredible season. And to see to see Kai Havertz come in and now 9 goals and 5 assists. 9 goals and 5 assists. That's essentially what you've done with that 60. That's what 60 million looks like, I'm afraid, guys. In this day and age, that's what 60 million looks like. If you're talking about you want to Ossiham, or you want to buy Alexander Isak off Newcastle, you're talking 100 million. Yeah, that's what you're talking about. I'm not in the discussion of Ivan Toney. I just don't think Ivan Toney would be good enough for Arsenal. I would take Isak and Ossiham over Ivan Toney 7 days a week, 24 hours a day. So, yes, well done to Kai Havertz today. Saka, we did talk about Saka. I think he's improved from the last 2 games, and quite frankly, you couldn't do any worse than what he done. But I think he provided the stability in his play, a lot of good running, the defensive work, which I said he talked about, which was a tactical change from Arteta, and then the penalty. He now has 30 goals and assists combined this season. 30 goals and assists combined this season. That's nuts. That's absolutely nuts. 30 goals and assists combined this season. And so I just think his form has to come back somewhat. And maybe you don't play him against Bayer. Maybe he needs to rest a little bit. I think we have to have that conversation, because he probably shouldn't have played today. And yes, that brings me on to Jesus. Little bit up and down performance from Jesus. I think Jesus played well today. And I say that because, you know, while Gary and Bertrand was a little bit frustrated by his misses, and you just get that with him, he was in those positions to make those chances. And that's something which a manager likes to see. But then the skill set of having the ball on the outside and taking on a defender, because, you know, in single one, a man-on-man, that's a battle a defender's going to lose every day of the week against a guy like Jesus, because he just blows past defenders. You know, we criticize the team that Martinelli and Saka don't go past the defenders enough, and you have someone like Jesus just sitting on the bench being wasted. For me, it was the right call. I've been calling for months to play him out wide on the left. And what you saw today was 3 chances he had to score, and then he creates the penalty. And I just think he's more valuable to this team as a left winger. But I'm going to give him a 6.5 today. Actually, you know what? Should I give him a 7 because he got the penalty? No, I'll leave it as a 6.5 because he was wasteful with those chances and probably should have had a goal or 2. And so Arteta, I'm going to give Arteta a 9. Bro, the way you set your team up, I don't know if PT... Someone made a comment They don't even think anyone's going to score a goal against us for the rest of the season. Like, that's the levels Arteta's setting now. Arteta's setting these levels now where we're having to question whether teams can score against them.
Addressing result before you.
Sorry, Kai Havertz interview.
Kai Havertz, all right.
To be honest, we didn't speak about it. We try to focus on ourselves, try to win the game. I think that's more important than look at the other games right now. Of course, we look at it, but I think right now it's not the moment to analyze something. Just win our matches and then see where that brings us.
Clearly, you've responded to that result. What message does that performance here tonight send out to your other challengers?
Yeah, I think we are ready for the challenge. We are there, and we are up for it. I think you see it every week that everyone plays at the limit. I think we even maybe can play better, but the attitude and the work rate of the boys is phenomenal, and everyone puts everything into that game, and I think that's we are also that's successful right now.
There was a time in past seasons, and I know you weren't involved, that a 2-goal lead, maybe sometimes a 3-goal advantage wasn't enough for Arsenal. How much has the game management improved?
I think a lot, especially our defending. I think especially the boys at the back, what they're doing right now is outstanding. And everyone is involved in that. The players up front as well. We try to get the ball high up the pitch, but the way they defend the box is incredible. And I think credit to the team for the defending. But we have to keep on going. Next big game is waiting during the week, and we are ready for it.
Does that stability at the back give confidence throughout the team, and particularly to yourself? It's now your best scoring season in the Premier League.
Definitely, I think when you feel that you're so strong at the back, it helps you a lot. And I'm enjoying myself right now. I try to help the team, and that's what I'm doing, and I hope to keep on going that far.
How much are you enjoying proving some of your doubters wrong?
A lot. I mean, it's part of the game. There are always people that don't like you or that speak bad about you. I think we have to. I accepted it, and you cannot make everyone happy. I try to make myself happy. The people are important to me, and that's the most important to me.
Well, you're certainly winning fans with your performances. Before we hand over the trophy, I'll just tell you, I don't know if you're a tennis fan, but the great Sir Andy Murray has just tweeted that you're easily one of the best strikers in the Premier League. So you might want to direct message him back or tweet him back later. But Kai, you are the player of the match. Well done.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah, I just want to follow up on that by saying he's only been the number 9 striker towards the end of January. So what would have happened if he had started as the number 9 at the beginning of the season? It's a really scary thought in terms of what he can produce. People talking about, and that's me, talking about Alexander Isak scored 15 goals. And then you've got guys like Ollie Watkins just killing it. He had another 2 goals today, Ollie Watkins. But how much would have Kai had scored had you started him at number 9 from week 1? That is a scary thought there. And so, look, I don't know the answer to that question, but I do know that what we've seen this year is, and which is why I've said he's the man to start at number 9 moving forward. And I'm glad Arteta's done that. So listen, all full credit to him. And
follow his next interview's coming up now.
Who's that? Who's coming up?
Susan amongst friends, come and join us, Mikel. Come and stand next to me over here. Congratulations. Just sum up what you made of that performance from your team today.
Well, I'm really happy. Big performance. They haven't lost yet since August, I think.
That's right.
And that's really good story. They are a really good team.
Yeah.
Strong coach. They make life really difficult for you. But I think today we're outstanding, and we needed that level to beat them today.
So how did you do it?
Well, first I think we showed a lot of quality in certain of the pitch, and with the ball we are really connected. We have real purpose and clarity where to attack, when to attack. Against a shape that they had slightly different than what we expected. And then without the ball, we were so disciplined. When we were higher up the pitch, they are the best team in the league by breaking that press. And then you have to track back. And then we stayed really disciplined. And we were really humble to be in certain positions, to be patient there, to regain the ball and help them.
You mentioned that maybe set up in a way that you didn't expect. Can you give us a bit of insight into the tactical thinking, the battle that was going on the touchline?
Well, we prepared because they did something similar to do that against Liverpool away, which they never do, and they do it in the other side today. So we prepared because we knew that it could happen, but we didn't know the approach. What is that? That's something else.
He doesn't want to say. Like, I already told you guys what it was. It was the 5-man midfield counter press system which they run.
Mikel, I asked for Kayo, but I'm going to ask you the same question. What's the difference with your team this year from last season?
We are older, and you can tell, especially on me, we have obviously went through a lot of moments together, and the chemistry that's you build within the team, I think is very important. We signed some tremendous players as well, which always helps because it's about them. And then I think it's a good moment because the squad is healthy, and the momentum is good, the energy around the place is good, and we've been through it already, and I think that helps. Sorry, go on.
I was just going to say, as you as a manager, another year maturer as well, like what's the difference in you as well?
Well, my energy is the same, enthusiasm is the same, but probably you take it slightly different. I don't know how I felt last year, to be fair. I'm just enjoying the moment and embracing it, and let's see how far we can go.
We were just talking about Kai Havertz, Mikel. I mean, you must be delighted how he's grown into the role that you're asking him to play. He's stuck with it and shown a lot of character.
He was tremendous again today, but his overall performance has been superb. Now his goal contribution is higher than anybody else in the league, I think, in the last few months, and that tells the story. But he's worried. He was chasing 70 meters here. A player that has this heart and this determination. That's why everybody loves him.
It's the centre forward's goal as well. The little run.
And being there at the right time. Yeah. Jorginho running there. I was a bit surprised about that.
Right, the left. As for Kai Havertz as well, did you always see him as being a striker? Because I was always uncertain. I didn't really know what sort of player he was, but were you clear when you signed him where you were going to play him?
I think you have to feel the player, until he's not in the environment. I think it's very difficult to understand. I thought he could play in 3 different positions, to attacking midfield as a 9. And then, we started to feel, in certain spaces, certain relationship, which is everything, and better than that. If you like to run, you need somebody that plays those balls in behind. And those relationships are appearing in a natural way, and sometimes the player decide at the end, not the manager, where they have to play.
How much pride are you taking, Mikel, in these defensive performances as well? Another clean sheet today, 5 consecutive clean sheets on the road, restricting City to so few chances. Luton didn't get a sniff midweek, and Brighton very little today as well. Teams are saying they can't take chances against you now.
Well, really good, because that means that our collective organization is very strong, but as well the desire and the love for defending from the player is there, and it has to be there. If not, you cannot do that. You saw the reaction of the teammates on Gavi 3-0, and he closed that shot. That's them. That has nothing to do with me. That's the spirit within the team and how much they want to win, and that's really good to see.
One more before they drag you away. You've got some big games coming up in the Champions League as well.
Yeah.
Are you thinking in terms of any priorities?
Priority now is Tuesday for sure. We're gonna have an unbelievable atmosphere at home. First time in 14 years that we are in this position. Let's go for it.
We wish you luck. Thank you, Mikel.
Thank you so much. Take care. Thank you. Bye.
Right, guys. So I'm talking tactics now. I've already given my grade for Arteta, and the number 9 is stipulated on exactly what he just said there. So for all of you with football knowledge, you're gonna love this. Arteta gets a 9 because of what I talked about with his man management. When De Zerbi changed the game and then went to counter pressing, Arteta countered it back, which is why I said the job that Ben White did when he wasn't up the pitch and he wasn't helping to assist Saka on that right hand side, then Saka drops back. So you're essentially playing with a back 5 to counter what they're doing. The 5-man midfield and the counter press. It's a little bit like so to talk about this in layman's terms, how Arsenal have improved greatly this season is they play a more tighter system. That's how the rondo works. That's how the ball possessional works. Hard to get the ball off a team when a team are playing more compact, and that's how Arsenal have been able to improve their play. So what the counter the presses in that respect is, it's possible by putting players all over the pitch in a wider stance. The aim there is to increase the size of the distances that the opposition has to cover when defending. So that's how you counteract a team who plays a tight and compact way, like Arsenal, like Man City, like Liverpool. So you heard him mention the Liverpool game there, and that's exactly what they did in regards to trying to counteract that. If a team plays more expansive, it makes a team that plays more compact more difficult for them to move the ball around. Hence, you saw what happened with Arsenal's performance today. We was a little bit ragged in the first 10 minutes and then a second session in that phase 2 of the game. Arteta didn't want to talk about those tactics on live because a manager shouldn't. You don't want to give, you don't want to give that knowledge and ideas to other managers in terms of how to nullify the top teams. But De Zerbi has been regarded as a good manager because he knows those tactical ways to play in different styles. And credit to Arteta because he's looked at that, he's understood it, and then not just that, but the players have understood it. And when the game management was then shifting towards the latter phase 3 part of the game, or every Arsenal player knew what to do. I think that's the difference between us and last season. It's that Arteta screaming and shouting and waving his hands on the sideline, and he's a little bit more reserved now because the players seem to know what they're doing rather than having to react all the time. So listen, full credit. And if you guys, some of you out there still don't understand, then I can't explain it any clearer than that. Let's go to Gary. Gary, what's your player ratings? Or shall we do Vincey? Vincey, do you want to go next?
Vincey's asleep, isn't he?
I don't think Vincey's with us anymore. I think Vincey went away.
All right, let's go with Gary. Again, remember, Vincey's got headaches and stuff, so he's taking his medication. Gary, you go first.
Yeah, so I'm going to give Raya an 8.
Hey Gary, I can't hear something wrong with my headset. I can't hear good. So can you just say that again? Because something's wrong.
Yeah, I'm gonna give David Raya an 8. 8. One mistake today when he shanked a kick. My position on the goalkeeper all along is, can he make the saves when required? Today he showed that he can make the saves when required. Thoroughly happy with his performance. He claims stuff in the air. He sets the attacks up nice and quick. Distribution was okay today. Didn't shank. He only shanked one kick, as I said. Yeah, so very happy. Listen, if the keeper's making the saves when required, you'll not hear no moaning from me. So yeah, he gets an 8. Ben White, I'm happy with his 7. I thought it was a solid performance. Defended when he needed to defend, supported Saka when he needed to support. I think Ben White's concentration seems to have upped because there was time, what's he say? Expected goals today was the most Brighton have conceded in their history. Oh, and also it's the first time they've lost since August.
And De Zerbi.
That's it.
A long time ago. I mean, De Zerbi just joined not too long ago. Potter just left not too long ago, so we should use the word history. But I get the point.
Yeah. So Ben White, there was times, and we've all spoke about it, where Ben White was making sloppy mistakes and giving bad passes and giving the balls away and giving teams opportunity. That seems to have stopped now. So he's maybe gone up a level in his game or a level in his concentration. And when you had Zinchenko one side and White the other side, they were kind of like, could be the weakest link, either one of them. Probably 7 times out of 10 it was Zinchenko, but White was making mistakes as well. And that seems he's cut that out of his game. So I'm happy with Ben White's performance. 7 for him. Saliba and Gabriel, I say it when we talk about these two, they are the best centre-back pairing in world football.
Yeah,
that's how far I'm going to go with it. Not in the Premier League, in world football. You can't. Can you beat them on the ground? Can you run past them? No. Can you beat them in the air? If you do, the other one's waiting there to mop up. They're just two freaking monstrous rocks. They're absolute mountains. And if we keep these two fit, as long as they're in that back 4, Arsenal will go a long way and win many a trophy. So I'm going to give them both 8.5s. I thought they were both outstanding today. look 3-0 up and Gabriel blocks a shot that maybe he shouldn't really be worried about blocking with like a minute to go. But they want to keep that clean sheet. Like Arteta said, that's the player spirit that's been built into this team, and it flows through every single one of them. So more than happy with them too. Zinchenko, man, this guy. Was it you, Apollo, that said he's making you nervous?
Yeah.
And he has that effect. He's popping into this central role when he doesn't need to be in a central role. When we saw Kiwior come in, Kiwior was playing as the left back, occasionally inverting, but more necessarily 9 times out of 10 he was in the left back slot, which made us more solid. And this is what started the clean sheets rolling. With Zinchenko, there's always a mistake in him. That crossfield 60-yard diagonal beats him all the time. Every single time it's hit, he's underneath it, looking the wrong way. Don't know where the guy is on his other side. He gets beat all the time. I'm going to give Zinchenko a 4. I don't want to see him in the team. I don't want to see him starting when we've got Tomiyasu, Kiwior. They prove they can come and do jobs. I think the time may have passed Zinchenko by. Sometimes teams evolve, and obviously we've got Timber coming back. Hopefully he makes a full recovery from his injury, and then Zinchenko's time is pretty much finished anyway once Timber's back to full fitness, I think. So yeah, I'm going to give Zinchenko a 4. I know it's a half mark, but for me, he's just not up to the standard that we require. Even when he's played in inverted, he gives away sloppy balls, and he just not doing what he used to do. Medicophobe. Oh, do you know who I thought it was? I thought it was Paul Dickoff. Right, so where are we now, Zinchenko? So Declan Rice. I'm going to give Declan Rice an 8.5. I thought it was one of them. It was one of them West Ham games, where you've got to dig in and you need to fight.
Yeah.
And I remember saying at the beginning of the season, there's going to be times when we need that West Ham Declan Rice. We need that player that's got the grit and the determination to get stuck in and get fighting. And Rice proved that today. Up against that Lieber or whatever his name is, Justin Bieber, whatever you want to call him.
Justin Bieber.
Rice was solid. And I think, you were just talking, Apollo, about Arteta not having to scream and shout and jump up and down and instruct players. I think that's because Declan Rice and Jorginho do it all for him on the pitch. Declan Rice see things. He was a captain at West Ham, and he's just made us solid, or more solid than we could ever imagine.
And this is the point I made to you and Bertram about last year. It seemed to be a reactionary team in regards to changes, and what that means is that you're more liable to be outcoached because your guys are still trying to pick it up. It seems like now when teams make adjustment towards us, we're switching on the blink of an eye. And remember, Declan Rice said when he's interviewed, he says, "I'm learning more at Arsenal than I've learned at any time in my career." So he's still learning and evolving. Isn't this a scary thought? Just goes to show how. Yeah.
It's not only when he's playing in that double pivot with Jorginho. We've seen Jorginho on the touchline, literally Arteta style coaching, pointing, shouting, directing when he's been substituted. So the guy's playing on the pitch. He sees everything that the manager wants him to see. He's directing. Rice is learning from him. They're all learning from each other as they're going along, and that's why we are such a solid unit. So Declan Rice, fantastic today, 8.5. Odegaard, again, another solid display from the captain. Maybe played 10, 15 minutes longer than I would have wanted him to with Tuesday coming up. But led from the front, leads by example. I'm happy with his 7. Jorginho, I'm going to give him a 7.5. He got an assist, an unlikely hero running pass people into the box. But he plays the game up here, doesn't he, Jorginho? He plays the game up in his head.
Yeah.
So what the legs don't have, the brain more than makes up for. The game kind of looked like it got a bit too fast for him, but again, his experience told. Very valuable player. I think we'll see Partey coming more into it, but as Bertram alluded to, we didn't have to rush Partey back. Last year, Partey would have been straight in. The moment he finished his first training session, he would have been straight on that pitch and probably got injured again. So the squad is stronger. Jorginho's playing a vital role. 7.5. Kai Havertz, definitely my man of the match. A goal and assist. You know, some lung busting runs back to cover and getting tackles. Was a menace, winning free kicks. Great all round performance. Man of the match performance. I'm going to give him a 9.5. I thought he was absolutely outstanding today. Bukayo Saka, difficult one with Saka really, because he's clearly not fully fit, and he alluded to that himself in the interview. He's struggling, and I think when a player is struggling with injury, they just kind of, the drop off is so major, you know. And we said the last 2 or 3 games he hasn't really been at the races. He's been non-existent. He hasn't done much, and that's because he's not fully fit. You're always worried: is this run here? Is this something going to pop? Is this tackle here? Am I going to get up? That's what's in the back of your mind. So he scores the penalty. Fair play. Mr. Sitter earlier on in the game. I'm happy with his 7. But I think we just have to be really, really careful with this guy, because I would hate to see him break properly. Gabriel Jesus, you give him a 6.5. I'm just going to give him a 6. Wins the penalty. Was maybe lucky to get the penalty because Lamptey did get a touch on the ball first, and it was the follow through that caught Jesus. So dubious penalty, but it was given. I don't care. It was scored. I'm happy. Mr. Sitter with his head. You know, all round good performance. I'm happy with his 6. You just want to see him taking more chances, or at least getting them on target. You're not expecting him to score, but at least test the keeper and get it on target. And Arteta, happy with his 9. I thought the team basically picked itself. It could have made a little substitution a bit early with Odegaard, but the game was still in the balance, so I understand why he didn't. I think he got everything right today. Happy with his 9.
Excellent. Bertram, you got the conch.
So I'll do mine quickly. Raya 7, brilliant save. Didn't have a ton to do, frankly. Distribution was better than it was against City. I'll probably tell you a lot about City and how they play, why he felt the pressure to rush more to get the ball out of the feet, and that we probably were in position to receive the passes from him. So we made his life more difficult than it probably should have been, but I thought he played well today. Ben White 7. I thought he played well, and as Gary alluded to, he's doing less of just giving the ball away, and his throwings are a little bit quicker. I don't understand how a professional football team can't find who to throw the ball to, but he's always struggled. He hasn't gotten any yellow card recently from his slow throwing, so that's good. Saliba and Gabriel, I'm going to give the same score, both 8.
Yeah,
I was just thinking about it. It's interesting. I've heard no one says either of those should be rested. I think they probably played every minute, most games, probably when Gabriel comes out with an injury. And so we must think that because they're Giants, they don't get tired or something. But
I do want to say one thing to you, Bertram, in regards to when we've been doing player ratings for Gabriel and Saliba over the last few months. 4 out of the last 6 games, Kivior had a higher grade than they did.
Right.
So that goes to show you. Right now, we're talking about how Zinchenko's got a 4 or a 5 or whatever, but Kivior's ratings has been right up there with those 2 centre backs. Isn't that right, Gary?
Yeah, because Kimi will come in and playing he can fill in as a left back, but primarily he is a centre back. And it is a different game when you go out wide and you're being asked to do what a fullback would do. But he done it so well, and I think it was Vinci that said he was part of the reason why we became so solid, because this inverted role kind of went out when he's like, you know what? Yes, I'm going to go and invert, but I ain't going to do it all the time. I'm here to defend. If the guy runs past me, I'm going to turn on the afterburners. I'm going to get back. I'm going to block the cross. I'm going to get up. I'm going to head this ball. This crossfield ball, this ain't beating me. And everything that he brought to the team is what Zinchenko doesn't bring to the team. So that's why his rating was high or higher than Saliba and Gabriel.
I thought Kyrgios got shown up a little bit against City, actually, because it showed you when the team keep possession and they space you out. When he's on an island, he's not comfortable on the island. Right? He's comfortable being closer tucked in with Gabriel. He's not close. When he's on the island by himself, you got to go defend one-on-one. That's not his forte. He's a center back by design or by trade. So, yeah, he's going to be comfortable in the middle. He's not comfortable when he's out on the island. And offensively, he's not the same as Zinchenko. Now, I was asked the question, which is, why is Zinchenko never play in the 8 when he plays in the 8 or 6.5 for Ukraine? Why he's never got a chance to play the 8 at all? I'm curious about that because he looked good. Yeah, see him score against England. He looked good in the 8 position or 7.5 for it. I don't see he doesn't play that way at all for us. So I find that interesting, actually. Never gets a chance to go there. And he's not a defender. He can't defend. He can't defend himself, frankly. He doesn't think defend. What he thinks is, I have the ball. And what he does, which people don't appreciate, which gets him in trouble, is he takes risk, right? So he's trying to play the almost final pass from where he sits, between the line, where this gap are almost closed. And sometimes it gets you in trouble, more often than not. But his defensive awareness, his spatial awareness is zero. Seriously, zero. You can make a 40-yard pass and he doesn't recover. They headed out of bounds or... he's not a defender, and I don't like to give him... I would give him a 6, actually. I don't think he was that terrible today. As Gary alluded to, he made one mistake, but he's not a left back, and he probably shouldn't play there going forward. But I think he's a very good football player, by the way. I think he's a good football player. Rice, I gave an 8. Look, Rice really has a bad game. I thought he covered a lot of grass today and played well. Not necessarily offensively, but I thought he allowed us to manage a Brighton team which like to keep the ball, right? And that's where you struggle sometimes with them. And just like we did against City, actually, when you get up to the 18 or close to the 18, there are no gaps for you to penetrate. I think we had one situation where they got a chance, which Gabriel blocked. But I thought overall, he had a very good game. I gave Odegaard a 7 also. Odegaard is an interesting player who there's very few 10s who play as much defense as he does, run as hard as he does. A true 10, like a Madison type 10 or Ozil type, or as I call lazy type 10. Those type of 10s actually don't necessarily run as hard and play as hard and try to put a foot in. So as a captain, he leads by example. So I thought he played well, but sometimes you expect to make those passes which no one else you can't envision to create opportunities for us. I didn't see that today, but I thought he played well. I thought Jorginho got overrun in midfield today, actually, to be frank. I gave Jorginho 6. I thought the pace was a little bit like against Man City. We didn't see Jorginho. The ball was playing around him. I thought sometimes today that occurred, especially in the first part of the game. I gave him a 6. And I think we see with Partey how Partey plays, which is you watch Partey against City, for example, even though it's the second half and people are more tired. That ability to do look away pass, the drop a shoulder, the turn, the awareness, it's a different animal. And Jorginho manages the game really, really well. I can't see a pass, but if the pace gets too hot, he's left wanting. But I gave him a 6. I thought Havertz played. I gave Havertz an 8.5. I haven't given anybody a 9 today, to be honest. I thought Havertz played really, really well. Both as Apollo always alluded to, holding the ball up well. He puts in a shift. He's aware of where he is. He win headers. I don't think we do a good enough job of running off him when he's going up for the header. Just like how you see Brentford and Tony play. When I'm going up to head it, you should be running off me to realize I'm going to win it. Yes. Left or right. So both Saka and Jesus or the number 8 should be running off him, or even Odegaard running off him to receive that pass to get behind the defense. He does that really well, by the way. And he's more physical than his stature provides or seem to indicate. And he also is more physical than his stature indicate. So it's interesting the way he plays, which I didn't see at Chelsea as much. And sometimes when you play in a team with certain quality, your quality shines more because you get more opportunity to shine. And it's evident in his case.
It's his highest return goal-wise in the Premier League this season.
And style of play and system of play affects that, right? And that's become evident.
Yeah.
I gave Saka a 5. I didn't think Saka was that effective. I don't think Saka played better than Jesus today, actually. Now, people are going to say, you know, you're hating on Saka, you normally do, but I just didn't see him being productive, actually. I thought he was okay. I thought he missed a goal where he should have hit the target in the first half of the game. I think Jesus' penalty to me, give him the penalty. He had one on target. I think he may have gotten that pass from Saka or something, or Odegaard. And he also got the penalty. I thought it was a penalty, actually. Whether he got a touch or not, I thought Lamptey hit him enough for him to go down. So I thought it was a penalty. Even though they played it over and over the game to show you a touch, I thought it was a penalty. And I gave Arteta 8.5 because I didn't give him a 9 today. My problem with Arteta, and I know 18 says I'm coming around Arteta. I've never said Arteta should be fired, even in the bad times. What I've said is that I don't rate his game management. I rate him as a coach. I rate him behind the scenes, motivating his team, managing his team, knowing talent. He knows talent, right? Because we all beat him on Havertz. Because we've seen Havertz. He sees something that we didn't see. Or a lot of us didn't see. I shouldn't say all of us. But I don't rate his game management. I don't rate his substitution. And I don't rate how he manages players and their physicality. So to me, Saka shouldn't play some games, and he plays. And I watch it, and I don't rate how he treats academy players. Now, I'm going to probably get grief on this. So I will give you an example. None of our academy players, he has never brought in an academy player into the team on a regular basis. He played in the Nwaneri because, you know why? It was contract time. He gave the kid a chance to play, so encourage him to sign the contract. He hasn't brought any academy players in. Now, they may not be good enough, frankly, but he hasn't brought anything in the first team. I look at Liverpool. I look at City. Look at City bringing in Bob and bringing in Lewis. They didn't play Palmer. Maybe that's why he went to Chelsea. They didn't play Sancho. Maybe that's why he went to Dortmund, right? But maybe the academy is better than ours because those 4 players, and I think they had someone as I missed, and Foden come later. Foden was earlier. But Arteta has not brought any academy players into the first team. None. Not one. On a regular basis. He put him on the bench as camouflage, but then he's not brought anybody to them.
I'm trying to see when Eddie first started getting a run. I'm sure that was.
He wasn't brought in by Arteta. He played under. Didn't Eddie start under Wenger and then under?
Come on against League Cup, didn't he?
Yeah,
he did. But that wasn't that Bertram said a player who got a run. So when you get one game in,
no, not about run. I mean, bring it to the first team. Not a run because anybody can give you a run in one game. And Nwaneri got a run. Two
no. When I mean a run, I mean a run of games. I thought that you meant yes. Because no one's given Eddie a run of games. Like Eddie's become a player because of Arteta, not because of anyone else. He as you pointed out, he got the start.
Yeah, but he was like an academy player who he brought from the academy into the team. There's a difference, right?
We bought him at 15, so he was a member of the academy.
No, but I'm saying he played under other managers, maybe infrequent, but not frequent enough. But he hasn't brought someone from the academy. Like, I'll give you an example. Saka was brought in by Emery, right? Into the first team, started at wing back, and then evolved to be a winger. You never see that from Arteta with any player.
Yes, and the thing with Saka is Emery didn't make Saka, Arteta made Saka. Because when Saka wouldn't be the player he was today if it wasn't for Arteta.
Right, but I'm not challenging his coaching acumen or his coaching ability. I've said that numerous times. Yeah. I'm challenging his game management, and I'm challenging why is there no player brought into the first team from the academy? Is that our academy needs to improve, you know. Here's why I say that. Yeah. Look at City's academy. Between Sancho, Palmer, Foden, Bob, Lewis, these are brilliant players. Now, it's no City spend a lot of money on the academy, right?
Yeah.
They probably pay more, but our academy is not producing like they should.
Yeah, you're 100% right, and that's the reason why we just bought a young player, 16 years old, the other day. Gary and Emerson would know about this, and I talk to Emerson every week about the state of our academy, and you're 100% right, Bertram. We've already heard of 5 or 6 players in the academy who's going to be let go this summer. It's because they know, Mertesacker has identified it, Jack Wilshire's identified it, and the crop of the players there are not good enough.
Well, is Mertesacker part of the problem? Is Mertesacker part of the problem?
Well,
he's been there a while now.
He is, but his job is to evaluate the talent, right? So if he's come back like Jack and said the talent's not good enough, and that's why we're having to change and bring in some different talent and buy players who were 16 years old, then that's what we got to do, and that's currently what we're doing. And the questions were asked is, remember in COVID, Bertram, we got rid of all of our scouting network. We just disbanded. A lot of it had to do with money and restraints. I know that. But the fact is, it's not just Arsenal. Like every team, every top team now is using this coalition of scouting guild in Europe now, where we, instead of us going out and finding players, this guild and scouting network is sending us tape of certain young players. And so that's how it's doing. What it means is you're able to identify talent a lot easier, and you're not spending and having players on the payroll, people on the payroll who are going out and finding players. So it's just they're finding it more efficient. Whether that works or not is for them to answer. But yes, I do agree with you. I'm not pushing back on this on the scouting thing at all. I totally agree with you in that respect that we're not really producing players.
Yeah, I mean. I say I tentatively bring in, but to be honest, actually, those players who may go someplace else more recently haven't shown up, right? So we have players who have left the academy, gone to Holland, gone to other places and done well, frankly. But it's not more recent that they have left and gone well. So Patino, I know, is one that's out. He's probably encouraged by some of the players doing well. We'll see if he makes the grade, but it's really interesting, actually.
Yeah, and obviously, I don't agree with you to a point on the game management system. Game management is a very closed word for a very open subject, because as you pointed out, Bertram, there's a lot of things that identify game management in terms of managing the actual game that you're playing, coaching against another coach, substitutions, looking after players' well-being. There's a lot of things that goes into that, and I think, and this is something me and Gary have knocked heads with each other this season on, and we've gone back and forth on it. And my end review of it all is he is improving. I didn't think much of what he was doing in the first half of the season, but what I look at him doing now is a complete different transformation of how he was game man. Today I pointed out a tactical change in the game as well, which he does, and quite frankly, he doesn't get enough credit for that. Which is probably why I tend to point it out quite a lot. But he has improved. He's not there yet. He definitely is not there yet. That's something we can all agree on. But he's definitely gone away from what he was doing previously before, where he would just put players on there for the sake of the name and the number of their shirt, which you just cannot do. You just cannot do that.
Yeah, look, we are pleased with the team overall. We're pleased with how things are going. And what I'm more pleased about than anything else, actually, is not just results. I am pleased with the composition of the team and how the team is set up going forward, which is, to me, is most important. So we can see sustained performance for an extended timeline going forward if we retain our players. And there's no reason, unlike on the Wenger days when we're being a self-sustaining club, so we just sell players, there's no reason for us to sell players per se. And even if we do, because I think our squad is the second most valued squad in football?
That's
or
right.
Somewhere around there. Even if we sell, we should be able to replace those players. So we have built a team now. We have some older players, like we need to have another CDM because Partey and Jorginho may leave. So we need a Rice backup or a Rice supplement or a Rice addition to Rice, which where Zubimendi may come in. We need another 8. And we need a 9. And we may need a backup for, I don't know, if we don't need a right back or a left back. We may need a centre half, actually. I know Timber can play centre half, but we may need a centre back. But we don't need a ton of players, per se. And our players are young enough to play for a while, and they're good enough to play for a while. So I don't think the future looks bright. And if we don't win the league, I'm not devastated if we don't win. I would love us to win, because I'm encouraged by how we are constituted and where we're going.
So I just want, before I go to Gary, I just wanted to go and I've just looked at Nketiah's numbers, And it seems I was pretty right about Arteta and Nketiah. So that is a player he's brought through in an academy and give him solid minutes into the first team.
That's only injured though. He doesn't get a look in otherwise unless someone's injured.
Yeah, that's right. And he should play more, in my opinion. He should play more. But before Arteta came, Eddie had 9 appearances, 7 in the Europa and 3 in the Premier League. But those were only off the bench. He never started a game until Arteta came in. And then when Arteta came into the team and took over as manager, he started 9 games in that first year, started 10 games in the second year, started 12 games the year after that. Last season started, let's have a look. Last season he started in 2024. Last season he started in 15 games. And then this season he started in the Premier League. Where is it here? Premier League. Right. This season he started 12 games.
But as Gareth said, if Jesus doesn't go down, well, it tells you about Nketiah, which is Havertz was playing 8 and take his position, right?
Yeah.
If maybe saying he's not good enough, that's what Arteta is saying. Why he's going to play Havertz in the 10 versus playing Nketiah in the 10. So yes, but Arteta is in his 5th year too. That's a long time. He's in his 5th year now.
It's true, but shall we go through that as well? So actually, it does say 2023-24 this season. Nketiah's played in 16 games, started 10. So he's actually started 10 games. He scored 5 goals and 2 assists. So he's had.
I bet Jesus was injured for 80% of those games.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, for 8 of those games, he was injured. Yeah, for 8 of those games. So he's averaging a goal every other game. And he's had a hand in 7 goals in 10 starts.
Right. But doesn't negate my point, which is either academy is not good enough or Arteta doesn't give players the opportunity.
Yeah, I agree.
I'll give you an example. When we played in the Champions League and we played PSV and we had nothing to play for.
Yeah.
With a bunch of kids on the bench, they didn't get a minute. That's ridiculous.
100%.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. Yeah, I totally agree.
No sense. What he was doing made no sense. Cedric come in and got a game. What happened? Ruel Walt was on the bench, didn't play him.
Yeah, totally agree.
You know what I mean for those kids to get a Champions League running? Unless you think he's not good enough and it's just decoration on the bench, you give me a Champions League game, I'm happy for the rest of the season from their age and playing under 21 or under 18. I mean, yeah. So anyway, he's winning, so he can justify whatever he does. He's winning.
So guys, talking points of today before I go into a summary and final comments. Obviously 3 points, another clean sheet, 12th of the season, increased our goal difference among our rivals, which is something I didn't think we would do this weekend. Isn't that weird? City have scored 4 goals this week and 4 goals in the game midweek. And we've actually, the goal difference has not moved anywhere. It's just not moved.
It's actually gone up.
Yeah, but look, City's defense is not as good as ours. So there's no point scoring 4 goals and letting in 2. That's not gonna. They might as well win 2-0, isn't it? And we've won 3-0. So the goal difference is not doing anything as far as Man City's concerned.
So here's what's interesting, actually. I don't know if you guys remember this. When we first started the first part of the season, we weren't scoring a lot of goals. Martinelli had 1 goal, I think. Only Saka, I think, was scoring at one point. We were concerned about goal scoring. Odegaard wasn't scoring like last season. Martinelli wasn't scoring.
No, you was concerned.
Of course I was concerned.
Yeah, I wasn't.
I said me now because we weren't scoring, so I had to be concerned.
Yeah, but you know why?
Sort of concerned.
Yeah, but you know why I said that, Bertram, and I come back to you with this all the time, yeah? In the history of Arsenal Football Club, they scored more goals last season than any other Arsenal team in history, including the Invincibles. You can give me all the names you want. Anelka, Ian Wright, Thierry Henry. Hold on. You can give me all the names in the world. They have not scored more goals than this team.
No, but I must stop you for a reason. Go ahead.
Yeah, Right now, as we sit, there are 7 games to go, and we have 75 goals. Our record is 88, which we got last season. So, Bertram, we need to score or beat 13 goals in the next 7 games. Yeah, that's less than 2 a game.
Here's where my concern comes from. So it's all great to talk about last season we scored 70-something goals.
88.
The first part of the season before that, how much did we score?
I think it was 79.
No,
79?
No, we didn't. No, we didn't.
Let me look it up.
No, we didn't.
Bertram, do you know the answer?
Nah, break the part. I'll look it up. 79 goals.
No, that's because we had that scoring problem, which is why we got Odegaard.
Exactly. So the question was last year an aberration or was it sustainable? That was the question. That's why I was concerned, because the previous year we weren't scoring a ton of goals. Last year we scored a ton of goals. Because remember last year we had Martinelli double figures, Odegaard double figures, Saka double figures,
Eddie.
Xhaka scoring like 7 or 8, Eddie scoring goals.
Eddie got 10, didn't he, last year?
Yeah, Jesus, everybody was scoring goals last year. Right?
Jesus got 10
we scored about 4.
Yeah,
so,
Bertram.
The year before was, go ahead.
61 goals.
Exactly. There's a big difference between 88 and 61.
88 is record breaking.
7 and
Yeah.
61.
88
right?
is record breaking. Yeah.
But I'm saying the 61 goals, the question for me was the 61 the aberration or was the 80-something the aberration? That's the question. That's why the first part of the season was concerning.
Well, I think this goes out to a lot, and a lot of people, I call them privileged fans. They think we should be winning the league every year. And those are the guys that were saying, we're not even going to be close this year because last year, if we didn't win it last year, we're never going to win it. And what we've found out now is that Arteta's actually been able to not just maintain it, but improve it. We could beat our points total from last season, and we could break that scoring record, which we set last season. I mean, you have to remember, guys, this is the youngest manager in the league in his first job, and this is what he's doing in the hardest league in the world. If that doesn't sort of paint over the picture of what this guy, the potential of what Arteta can build and do as a manager, then nothing will.
I'll say for Arteta, though, Arteta is a very good manager, but also a lucky manager. And here is why. Wenger wasn't back like Arteta. Emery wasn't back like Arteta. In his first 2 seasons, he won the FA Cup his first season, but he didn't do well his first 2 seasons in the league.
No, I don't agree with the Wenger thing. The Wenger initially,
Wenger was not backed. We were selling players.
No, that's not true. That's
Wenger
not true.
Was not backed. Was not.
That's
backed.
not true.
No.
That's not true.
Maybe he didn't want to be back, but he wasn't backed. Come on.
Then there was no money to back him.
Yeah, and exactly. But after that, what happened? They backed him, and he started spending money. Ozil, Sanchez, all these players he was bringing in, they weren't cheap.
They were the only 2 big time. No, look, he did buy the Mustafis of the world.
Yeah, he was spending. Yeah,
but it wasn't big money. He wasn't getting Man City money or Man U money or Chelsea money.
No, of course not. Of course not. But he was spending money. That's the whole point.
But Arteta's getting that money. That's the point I'm making. Arteta's getting Chelsea and Man U money.
Because the team's in a different. We're not paying for the stadium in that way. It's a different time, isn't it? And then the Premier League money, they weren't. But you know how much. The winning team in the Premier League when Wenger was a manager got 24 million. That was the winning team. Now everybody gets 94 million. So we can't.
So you agree with my point on Wenger then? But anyway, let me just. Salaries are much higher.
Wenger would be ridiculous now in terms of his spending because this is a different time. It's a different time right now. There's those days, Bertram, teams were selling their best players just to get by. Nobody need to sell any players.
No, but here's the thing though. Wenger couldn't compete because of Man U and Chelsea. They weren't selling their players to get by. We were doing that. Man U and Chelsea weren't doing that. Man U could buy. People understand why Man U struggle. They could buy any player they want. They want Berbatov, they go buy Berbatov. Any player they want to buy, now they have competition, right? Arteta should get his flowers. He and Edwards spent the money wisely. They bought quality players, and these players are young enough so we can get a return on our investments. And we're not seeing the people, working to get sold or position themselves to go to another team. We're not seeing that, right? He's buying young players who Rice want to be here, White want to be here, Gabriel want to be here. He almost ran away Saliba, but he stayed. But Saliba now wants wants to be
I,
here.
I remember you saying 2 years ago that we ain't got no value. Like, who have we sold is worth any money? Now we've got the most valuable team in the league.
We still sold a body for the money period, but we have players who are worth money, right?
Yeah, but
The whole
we
team is worth money.
wouldn't want to, though, would
Yeah.
we? We wouldn't want to sell anybody.
I know. So this summer,
Yeah.
Ramsdale is a concern because he may leave, and I
Yes.
would leave if I was him, frankly. Vieira is a concern because he's been here. It's going to be what, his third year next year.
Yeah,
He hasn't shown that he can cut it. He's been injured. Nelson may leave, and Ketia may leave. There are a bunch of players who, and we got to make sure we maintain the English quota.
yeah.
Right, got to have 8 players in the squad, so it's going to be interesting what we do going forward. But we're well positioned. Most
Yeah,
importantly, we're well positioned.
I agree with that. In that way, Arteta's turned water into wine, isn't it? The valuation of this team is ridiculous, man. Ruel Walters should be coming through. Whenery signed his first professional contract. That's 2 players there already. Cozier Dubry. Yep, there's another one. So you're looking at four potential players coming up from the academy next season, and I wouldn't mind seeing it. If those players from the Nketiahs, the Nelsons, Smith Rowes, if they move on, then you just bring those players in. Personally, I wouldn't sell Smith Rowe, but that's always been my opinion anyway.
Smith Rowe is Smith Rowe is like, those players who have no position, but they're very good players. He's not an 8, he's not a 9, he's not a 10, he's not a winger. He's just a very good footballer. That's a tough one. I don't know what he does with Smith Rowe, actually, to be honest. And for Smith Rowe, he has to make the decision. It's his, I think, to make. What do I do? Villa wanted me for 2 years in a row. What do I do?
Well, did you hear him the other day when he was being interviewed? Gary, I think you talked about this on the forum. Smith Rowe did his interview midweek, and he says this is the reason why I don't want to go anywhere, because even when you're not playing, they treat you like you're still part of the team. I feel like I'm family. I feel like I'm well supported. And going through that injury, I wouldn't have been able to do it if it wasn't for the team camaraderie. And so that meant a lot to him. So I'm really happy. I'm really glad he said that, because basically what he was saying is, I don't want to go anywhere. I want to stay here and play for Arsenal.
Look, if you grew up someplace, go ahead, Gary.
It'd be a shame if Smith Rowe got sold. I think when he played against Luton, the way that he just connects the ball and he just wants to go forward. Brilliant. He takes the touch on the turn and he's facing the way he wants to go. Yeah, and the passes round the corner to keep the ball moving. He can play the 8, he can play the 10, he can play the 11, he can play the 7, he can play the false 9.
Yep.
There's a player there. You can't get rid of that.
He dribbles well. He creates. He scores goals. He presses well. He's high energy. He doesn't stop running.
And as well, he's lucky that he hasn't got at least 2 or 3 goals this season, because the times that he's missed a whole heap through injury, but the games that he's played, they've been ones cleared off the line. The keeper's made good saves. So he could have had 2 or 3 goals easily this season.
So I have a question for you. Which is,
for who? Me or Apollo?
Either you. If you're Smith Rowe and you're saying, I love Arsenal. I grew up here, wonderful environment. They treat me well. But to be honest, he's not getting playing time. So how do you build your brand if you're not getting playing time? Because you build your brand through playing time, right? And your football, where you got to remember, and it's going to help you increase your earnings and whatever it is that's associated with your brand, is through playing. So if I was to look at Willock, for example, if Willock was here, he would be getting playing time. I'll get little playing time, frankly, right? But Willock has now built his brand to be a much bigger brand than if he was at Arsenal. That's not debatable.
Yeah, right? I at the moment I don't have an answer for that, because Smith Rowe is his own worst enemy. Those injuries are just going to end up. The only way is just going to kill your career. So first of all, you look after your body. The first thing Kobe Bryant said when he came out of college is, I think it was Magic Johnson said to him, "You don't make it in this league unless you look after your body." He then went to Michael Jordan and then used Jordan's dietitian, physio, and everything to prolong his career. So this is how you become a great player. You don't become a great player like being Abu Dhabi and you're injured for 75%.
Yeah, but you know this season. Apollo, one of 2 things. Diaby was just a bad injury picked up, right?
Yeah,
they never really recover from. And also, people's bodies are brittle. Your body's not built to withstand those kind of physicalities. So.
Yeah, Vincey, did you do your player ratings?
Yes, he did. But before he fell asleep.
No, Vincey, you're on mute. You're on mute, Vincey.
No. That's all good, man. Don't worry about the player ratings, man.
Okay, so
Vincey,
give us your
you okay,
thoughts.
Vincey? You okay? You good?
Give us the thoughts.
Just about.
Yeah, give us your thoughts on the game today.
I mean, I'm happy. 3 goals. I think it was a comfortable victory. We, as always, there's pockets of the game where it makes it hard for us to watch, and it's nervous and it's frustrating and annoying. Whether you're on top in attackingly and you should be getting shots off and it's frustrating, or you make overplaying and then you're bringing unnecessary pressure on and allowing teams Brighton to get back into the game. That's a frustrated part of Arsenal that really annoys me, and it's still there. However,
go on.
However, when you look at it, we won 3-0, and it quite easily could have been 5. It could have been 6. It could have been 7. And that's where this team has to understand the capabilities within them. It's a very good squad. All the stats that we're talking about, that we're stopping teams from having shots against us. We shooting ourselves in our foot by not putting them to the sword. And then you stop and you look and you see our goal difference compared to Man City and Liverpool right now, and you're saying we're losing our heads because we're playing a game of football where we should still be scoring 5 goals, and we're winning the game by 3. So, the frustrating thing is we were in a very good position, top of the league, and we've made 2 strides over where we were last year. But if we turn up and get to the end of the season and we don't cross the line, it's gonna feel even worse than last season because of how good this team is. And that's the frustrating thing for me, that I just want them to realize and understand, seize the moment. The moment is there. There's no guarantee next season that it's going to happen. And this young squad is playing phenomenal football in its context. It requires them to get over the line and get the job done, which we all are hoping that they can do. So, yeah, it was a great victory today. A good way to set up the Munich game midweek. Yeah.
I'm glad you said that, because there was a comment. I'm going to try and see if I can find it. It was probably the best comment of the day. Here it is. I found it. The comment was from Cam. It says, "Imagine if we lose the league because of that VAR decision against Newcastle," which was.
Yeah, and this is the thing. It's not like we nitpick. You have to be real. This is fine margins you're dealing with. If Liverpool could lose 1 game and just get picked by Man City a few years ago to win the league, I mean, that's what we're dealing with.
Yes,
that's what we're dealing with here. Right? The reality is, we want to be winning the league, and this team, this squad, have put themselves in a position to do that. But we're still chasing with 7 games to go. Still chasing.
Yeah,
because of nonsense.
Yeah. 9 wins. Well, 10 wins in the last 11.
Yeah.
And a draw against Man City, and we're still in second place.
Yeah.
Like that. That's the fine margins.
A couple of better decisions there. When Trossard's breaking the ball across to Martinelli's clean through, we could nick it 1-0, and everyone's saying what a masterclass.
Yeah. And that's what it's really about. It's not about looking for perfection, but you understand what this team has to go up against. It's a juggernaut that is Liverpool. You're up in an iconic club like Man City, who have just won the treble. We have no room for any errors, any lapse of concentration or flukeness. we have to be exceptional in every capacity of the game. And you stop and you think Arteta's put the team in this situation. So, you know, us as fans, when you're hearing certain fans expecting more, I think they've got a right to expect more, because that's the only way you're going to be in a position to, you know, with our predictions at the start of the season to say, okay, Arsenal's going to win the league. Well, they're going to win the league by putting those expectations into action and being clinical in those situations. And, you know, Christmas, when we were the West Hams, I mean, come on, those are the things that fans have a right to be really frustrated about. And I know we're going back to saying, okay, perfection, but we have to be perfect, or we have to be not far off it to be in a chance to win this league.
Yeah, I wish we get a result tomorrow at Man United. So closing comments here. Obviously, mine is the fallout from today is we got the subs, key subs rested for the Champions League. And we played about half an hour today of low intensity football where you're in gear 2 and you're not expending too much energy. And I mentioned that while in the game, and that's very important to a team. For what you're doing in the running. And we noticed a little bit of that against Luton as well, which I mentioned on my vlog, which is on the channel. And thanks for you guys supporting the vlog. Really, really appreciate it. If nobody was watching it, I wouldn't do it. So it's because of you guys, which is why I do the game vlogs all the time. I really enjoy doing them. Bertram or Gary, closing comments from you two.
I'm just going to say, very professional performance. 7 to go. It's game on.
Yeah, Bertram, we got to win out. We got to win out, Bertram.
Yeah, Liverpool has not impressed me, frankly, the way they're playing, but they're getting outcomes and they're getting results, which is good. But I could see them dropping points. I don't see Man City dropping another point for the rest of the season.
Yeah.
So we have to win out. And we have a chance to win out because we're not giving up goals. We have a very tough run-in, unfortunately. We have Chelsea, Man U, Tottenham.
Here's a question for you, Bertram. Would you rather play teams at the top or the teams at the bottom?
Teams at the bottom. Because I know I have the quality to overcome them. Teams at the top, yeah, some of them may... Well, teams at the top have something to play for, right? Everybody has something to play for. If we play Chelsea, it's London Derby. They have something to play for. They want to stop us. Tottenham, 10 times worse. Villa, they're fighting for top 4. And they have the quality. I don't think teams at the bottom... If you get teams at the bottom, they don't have the quality to play with us.
Yeah,
no matter how desperate they are. No matter how desperate they are. So we're doing well. Let's hope it continues.
Right, guys, that's it from us. Sorry, go on, Vincey.
We kind of had that last season, teams at the top but against teams at the bottom, and we weren't experienced enough.
We're young. We're young. We're experienced now, Vincey. We're more experienced.
Yeah, so I think this season, you kind of want the teams at the top, as you said, because we're not giving away chances as much as we were. So you're right in that regard.
Yeah, and think about it. We've been scoring a lot of goals against team mid-table or bottom, like a lot of goals, right? And my expectation that will continue. But I think the Tottenham game, there's some games that are going to be tricky, actually.
So, guys, that's it from us this evening. Job done for Arsenal. And again, it's another impressive style. As Gary pointed out, they've been unbeaten here since August, since the opening month of the season.
I didn't know that until he said it in the interview. But,
yeah.
That's enough stat.
And really, I thought today's game was going to be awkward, but we made it look very, very easy. Saka's penalty kicked things off. Havertz scoring the second to set up, and then setting up Trossard for the third. And so that is 5 consecutive clean sheets on the road in the Premier League. Only 2 teams previously have done that before. Man City in 2022 when they walked the title, and Arsenal in 1997 on the way to that 98 doubles win. So that's it from us. That's it from us today, guys. Arsenal got top in a 3-title horse race. The fight continues. Speak to you guys later, man. Peace out, everybody.